Okay. Hello, welcome to WCBN Sports covering this edition of Michigan baseball. It is a bright and sunny afternoon here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. How's it going, Matthew?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a Friday afternoon, sunny temperature. It's about 72 degrees, and Michigan is about to face off against the Ohio State Buckeyes. The lineup today for the Michigan Wolverines, we have Hajar is pitching. Stephen Hajar, he's Michigan's arguably their top guy, definitely their number one pitcher. And he, although his official record is 1-0 on the season, 1 win, 0 losses, he is incredible every time he goes to the mound. The most number of hits he's given up in a game all season was 6. And each game he's gone at least 5 innings. And the most runs he's ever given up is 3. And he'll be pitching for the Wolverines. And then in addition, going around the horn for Michigan's lineup, they got batting leadoff is Jordan Rogers at center field. And then Christian Molfetta is at the hot corner. Griffin Mazer is catching. Jimmy Obertop is at first base. Benjamin Sims is at shortstop. And then Ted Burden is batting from DH this afternoon. And Clark Elliott is in right field. Tito Flores in left field. Riley Bertram at second base. And then once again, Steve Hajar from the mound. It should be a great game, and since this is in Ann Arbor, Michigan will be pitching to lead off the top of the first inning. And Ohio State will come up to the plate. Number 33, Sam Wilson, the designated hitter, is batting in the leadoff spot. Not the best batting average on the team, and comparatively, he is at 233 on the season. And you mentioned the batting average for these Buckeyes, not the greatest in the Big Ten.
No.
First pitch coming our way, and it is a bit low. So 1-0 to lead off this game. Second pitch is coming. Fires it in, and this one looks to be a little bit outside. And quickly, we have Wilson taking a 2-0 count. Third pitch is coming in. And this one is swung on and hit. And it finds ground in deep right field. Rounding first base, goes to second, slides in. No need for the slide. He was safely into there. And a leadoff double to open up this game. That had a lot of pop to it, and it just kept on shifting, too.
Yeah, as a righty, you just want to take that to the opposite field. A little nice, good contact and getting going for Ohio State. That's a big start. This Ohio State team has struggled hitting the baseball. They're actually 267th, at least tied for batting average, so it's important for them to get on early against the best pitcher for Michigan.
Exactly. So we mentioned he's only given up 6 hits in his worst game. He's already given up 1 from Steve Hajar. Next pitch is in and outside and a little bit low, it looks like, as well. 1-0. So he has only thrown 1 strike all day, and that one was hit on and hit out of the, or hit deep into right field for a double. Taking a moderate lead is Wilson off second base. This pitch is swung on and brought foul well down the first base line and into the parking lot. So it brings it to 1-1 for Oakley, the right fielder, batting second for this Ohio State Buckeyes team.
This is a lefty-lefty matchup, so it should favor Hajar.
Pitch is in, and this one is fouled off once again, but this one goes to the third base line into the parking lot between Ray Fisher Stadium and Yost. And with that, the first pitcher's count of the game, it is 1-2 as Hajar looks to get his first strikeout of the afternoon. And this one is a bit high, and it goes to 2-2 for the count. And light lead taken by Wilson as the pitch is wind up, and this one barely misses, and the count goes full. Took a little bit of time, and despite some attempts from Mazer with the framing, unable to get that third strike call, and it goes to 3-2 for Oakley. The windup and a no pitch called. And I wonder if that was a balk or not from the umpire right before the pitch. He called them off, at least a warning. But the runner is not advancing, so at least not an official called balk, maybe a warning. Wind up, fires it in, and he got rung up for that. Oh, wow, the batter took a couple of steps, Oakley, towards first base, and then the umpire charged him and sent him back to the dugout. 1 out already to open up this game.
Yeah, that's a very big out. You don't want 2 men on with no outs early. Get the confidence going a little bit for the pitcher, Hajar. Get him going a little bit. So that's 1 K on the day. Really nice pitch to get him on that 3-2. So let's see if he can settle in to this first inning.
Absolutely, and now we got Zach DeZenzo coming up to the plate. And first pitch is in. It looked a bit inside, but umpire rung him up for that. So it is 0-1, and it looks like he is finally finding the groove, Hajar, from the mound after surrendering a couple of balls and then that double to lead off the game. Pitch is in, and this one is a bit low. It's going to go to 1-1. Once again, Wilson is still at second base as he hasn't been too aggressive, and Michigan hasn't even been too eager to hold them on. Pitch is fouled off and just tipped. Dribbling into foul territory down the first base line. And we're definitely seeing Michigan's pitcher finally getting the groove that he needed after that rocky start. Clark Elliott, he kind of inches his way over to second base, but still not really holding on Wilson. And Wilson's not really trying to even challenge him, it seems like, despite being the leadoff hitter. And the designated hitter doesn't seem to be too aggressive on the base path. And it is 1-2 as the pitch is coming up. And the catcher calls time. Took Hajar by surprise a little bit. Looks like they're going to discuss something. I wonder if they're discussing a pickoff play. I remember in high school, that is sometimes what my catcher would do. If he got a little bit of a gutsy runner on base, he'd try and concoct something to get a free out from there.
But he does not look too aggressive on second.
Yeah, absolutely. Pitches it, and this one's low and inside. Almost grazed his feet right there. But it's going to bring the count to 2-2 with 1 out in the first inning, top of the first inning. As Zach DeZenzo is up at the plate. And this one is swinging, and he goes to the dugout. 2 strikeouts for Hajar. And with that, we got the cleanup hitter, Cade Kern. He has the best batting average of any Buckeye batter, and he comes up cleanup for them. He is a freshman as well. And first pitch is in, but a bit high. It's going to give I believe it was high, but the scoreboard said it was a strike.
I think they called it a strike.
Oh, was it a called strike? Okay, pardon me. So it's a 0-1 to lead it off. HR keeps firing. Second pitch fouled off. And now it's 0-2. He's one strike away from cleaning up this inning after a rocky start. Gave up that double to lead off the game, lead off the inning. And hasn't even allowed a runner since then. Hasn't even, 2 straight strikeouts. Hasn't even allowed them to put it in play. Pitch is in, and this one definitely is high. So it's 1-2. As Cade Kern, the freshman out of Archbold, Ohio, is up at the plate. The cleanup hitter with the best batting average on the team. This one is hit and sent flying deep into left field. However, caught by Flores to end the inning. And with that, Michigan returns to the dugout unscathed despite that leadoff double. At the middle of the first inning, it is 0-0. One runner left on base for Ohio State.
Yeah, that was a very good job by Hajar to get out of that inning. You settle into this game. It's a very good pitcher. That great contact by Kern. Just a little easy play for Flores in left. So now Ohio State will come to bat. It will be a very interesting to see the one matchup problem for Ohio State. They've been great pitching this year. The one matchup problem they have is that stolen bases could become an issue. 40 of the 41 attempts have been successful against the Ohio State pitcher, so that could be somewhere where Michigan and their coaching staff could exploit as we get settled into this game, especially if it is indeed a pitcher's duel as we expect. So middle of the first, Michigan 0, Ohio State 0.
Yep, so Michigan, they couldn't have asked for much better of a leadoff inning. Got fans a bit nervous to see Hajar a bit like rattled, I guess is the best word, but he got it under control. He gave up 3 straight balls and then a double, and then 2 straight balls the next batter, but then finished it up with 2 strikeouts and then a fly out to close the inning.
Impressive to bounce back from that. A lot of pitchers, you give up a leadoff double a little bit, that will kind of rattle some pitchers. So very good by Michigan and Hajar to get out of that. He showed his stuff indeed in that inning. He really pitched very well as the inning kept going.
Exactly. In Michigan, coming up, we got Rogers, Molfetta, Mazer, and then Obertop as the leadoff 4 guys. Potentially, obviously, they could get Sims, Burden, Elliott, and then Flores, and Bertram. But you never know. But Jordan Rogers is coming to the plate. Michigan has really struggled to find a lineup to stick with the entire season. They tried different things, and Coach Bakich likes mixing it up. But tonight he's going with Rogers at leadoff. First pitch is in, and a bit low. It is 1-0. Rogers batting .320 this season. Next pitch swung on and hit right to the shortstop. Takes his time, guns it to first, and it's dropped. Wow. Error on first baseman Paul. And Michigan gets a base runner when they really, honestly, didn't deserve it. It was a line drive right to the shortstop. He had plenty of time to fire it. He gunned it. It was a perfect throw, but couldn't hang on at first base.
And also, he's got 3 stolen bases, Rogers, on the year. So maybe you see a little running. I don't know.
You mentioned a stat before the game about Ohio State and the base running. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, So it was 40 of the 41 attempts. Ohio State has given up stolen bases. On 40 of the 41 attempts, there was 1 attempt that was failed, and that they actually got 1 guy out.
So exactly, you might see Rogers be the 42nd attempt, and hopefully not add to that company of being picked off.
Just doesn't have a big lead right now, which is very interesting.
Just as you said, they took a couple of steps further, and he's going. Pitches in, gun down to second, bounces in, and he's safe.
There's the 42nd.
He didn't get the best jump, and the catcher probably would have gotten it if it weren't a bounce. And when it bounced on this AstroTurf at Fisher Stadium, it kind of died a little bit. And with that, it is 1-1, and Michigan has a runner on second with no outs, already kind of barking at the Buckeyes.
And that's just a way to take advantage of good pitching. You get on base because of an error, you take advantage of it, you get in scoring position. Now you got 3 chances to get a hit. Very smart baseball right now for Michigan. If you're not going to get clean hits, you got to make sure you can get some runners on base because it puts pressure on the pitcher.
This pitch is outside. It is 2-1 for Christian Molfetta. Pitcher for the Buckeyes, Burhen. He has given up 0 hits, but regardless, he still has a runner on second base. So not quite his fault, as more the first baseman. But pitches in, and this one is a called strike right down the middle. It is 2-2, and Molfetta's probably disappointed he can't have that one back.
And Molfetta is an excellent hitter on the year, 329 average. He's probably their best power hitter, I would say. So watch out.
Obertop has some power too, but you're right, Molfetta has a lot of power for the Michigan Wolverines. And just as we said that, he strikes out swinging on a pitch, low and away. And with that, Michigan gets their first out of the game.
Yeah, way to use the aggressiveness against Molfetta by Burden. He just gave him a little breaking ball, trying to catch him off guard. It did get 1 out, and all of a sudden, just like in the Ohio State top half, Ohio State now has to deal with a runner on second. They already got 1. Let's see if they can get the next 2.
Exactly. Griffin Mazur's coming up to the plate with 1 out and a runner on second. Burhen is clearly a little bit rattled, I'd say, by Rogers on second base. He keeps looking back. He's already stepped off the rubber and checked him down twice. He hasn't even been taking that much of a lead so far. First pitch is in, and that's going to be a ball. This year it's a little bit odd because normally we're directly behind home plate. We could get a great view. Right now we're on like the third base side of the press box, so we can't get a direct view of the batter's box, but we could still see most of it. And he's running, and the ball is hit and tipped foul. Kind of a delayed steal from Rogers. He kind of broke off, and then he stuttered a little bit, and then he decided to go for it. And I guess Mazur didn't quite get the memo because he swung on it and tipped it foul. It's 1-1. But even with that delayed steal, he probably would have been safe. It was Rogers has a lot of speed. You mentioned he has 5 stolen bases, only caught once this season. And once again, we got Burhen attempting to pick off, at least check down Rogers. No throw, but he steps off the rubber. I always love to see this about the different teams, whether they're up on the dugout fence or not. Pitches in, and this one's fouled off right behind home plate. It is 1-2. Like, you look at the Michigan team and the game I did earlier this season, they were up on the dugout, and they're doing the same tonight. Really loud, But then the visiting team, they're not sitting down, but they're not super enthusiastic. And I guess coming on the road on a Friday series, it's a bit tough to get that enthusiasm up. But even so, 1-2 count for Mazur. Once again, stepping off is Burhan. Between the last 2 at-bats, he's stepped off 5 times now. Hasn't even thrown down to second. He just looked kind of keeping him honest almost, keeping Rogers honest at second base. He already has 1 stolen base today. And he's kind of jumping around on the base path. And we have a swing, and I believe that was tipped, so he'll live to swing at least 1 more pitch. 1-2 with 1 out as Mazur, the catcher, is up for Michigan. He's batting .238 so far this season, but has 4 home runs. And a throwback finally to second, but pretty clearly safe for Rogers. It wasn't too close. He hasn't been taking that much of a lead. I'm wondering why Burhan is so rattled by him. He's only been a step or 2 off of the base at any given time. The one time he did go for it, and he's going now. Throw down to third base, and he gets him out. Wow. So I guess all of this did pay off for Burhan. With it is now 2 outs, and that pitch was a ball, so it's going to be 2-2. But that is a tough blow for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I didn't really like that call. I really didn't, because he's on second right now. You send him over the third. Ohio State, as seen by Burhan throwing over a lot, is very prepared for that play. So in the cat and mouse game, Ohio State was very prepared, and it kind of limits that because he has a base hit right here.
Yep.
And Mazur, that could have been a run, and that's off the board.
Yeah.
Because of that move.
So Mazur just hit a line drive to short center field, getting him an easy single. But you're right, if he hadn't gotten cocky with that, trying to go get the extra bases, he possibly could be home right now. The single wasn't too deep, so it's unclear whether he would have been sent home. But Jimmy Obertop is now up, and when they had a chance to have a runner in scoring position, now they have nobody. Pitch 1 is low and just barely in the strike zone for a called strike.
And Mazur has little to no speed at first. He has 0 stolen bases on the year.
Yeah, and 0 attempts, too. It's not like he's trying, but against Ohio State, you never know. Pitch bounces in, and catcher can't contain it. But Mazur is still contained at first base, not trying to do any funny business or anything there.
Obertop has 8 home runs and 20 RBI, so he is a big-time hitter for this Michigan team.
Exactly. He got that walk-off home run 3 weekends ago against Michigan State. 8 home runs on the season, and they're only about halfway through this season. And it's a shortened season, too, so that's mighty impressive. Pitches in, and this is fouled off. Looks like one of the protectors, one of the catcher's chest protector pieces came flying off after that one. The umpire's cap is blown off in the wind. He's running over to the first baseline to try to catch it, and he does. Puts it back on. It's 1-2 with Jimmy Obertop at the plate. Mazur is at first base. Pitches in, and it's a little bit outside. Points down to the first base. It says he did not go. 2-2. And Mazur, once again, he's not much of a base running threat. And this one is fouled off deep, deep into the parking lot on the first base side. Burhan, he's already racking up the pitches. He's 2-1 on the season with 29 innings pitched. And comes into the day with an ERA of 3.64 with a 2-2 count with 2 outs. This one is low and inside and swung at for strike 3, ending the inning. And at the end of the first, it's 0-0, 1 hit and no runs and 1 runner left on base for the Michigan Wolverines.
Interesting interesting first inning, for these both teams. Similar situations, both pitchers held up. A little bit of a questionable move by the Michigan base coaches to send them on that second and third base. That's been the difference in this game so far. Ohio State, they had a lead runner on, and then Hajar did his thing. He's been so good for this Wolverine team, as you mentioned earlier, Adam. So Michigan 0, Ohio State 0 as we enter the second inning. We're about a minute away from that getting going here on a beautiful day in Ann Arbor. Wind's blowing, so that could affect the trajectory of the ball.
And Ohio State comes into this game as one of the hottest teams in the Big Ten. They had a 4-game series against the Indiana Hoosiers in Columbus, and they swept it. And Indiana, prior to that series, was the top of the Big Ten. And now Ohio State is making a case that they should be a contender. They won all of them pretty convincingly. It was 3-2, and then 5-2 on Saturday, and then 6-0 for the doubleheader, the second game on Saturday, and it closed out the series 4-3 on Sunday. And so now they come in against this Michigan team who has been a little bit rocky of late. They just finished a series, a split series, like they call it a pod this season. So they played 2 against Maryland in Maryland, and then 2 against Northwestern, but also in Maryland. So they set up this mini pod.
Here we go. Pohl is up to bat. He is a lefty, so a good matchup from a lefty for Hajar. The first baseman digs in. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. So Hajar, he has 2 strikeouts so far. That was about 91, 92 miles per hour. He can throw it. I think his highest velocity today has been 93. So here is the 0-1. Pitch is up in the air towards the left side. Could be going foul, and it goes over the fence by the bullpen area on the left side by the third base line. So now it becomes an 0-2 and a nice pitcher's count to start off the inning. That would be nice to get the first guy out.
Absolutely. And judging by the flags in the center field, it is quite windy out today. So these pop flags, we've already seen a handful of them. They have the tendency to move quite a bit. We saw that one where it looked like it could be a caught ball, possibly even in fair play, got pushed foul, and then one earlier that got pushed out of the way.
And that pitch is strike 3. So a big strikeout, the third of the day for Hajar. He is settling in just fine here against Pohl. And he had a 197 batting average coming in, so not really much of a threat. Now Bauer digs in, the second baseman, number 8, as he is the 6th guy in the lineup, a senior, batting .217, so another favorable matchup in terms for Hajar, but he is a lefty-righty, so let's dig in. First pitch is low and inside for ball 1. That was, I think, a fastball at about 92, so he throws 92, 93 at a fastball clip. Here is Hajar digging in, 0-1. Inside once again, so a 2-0, A 2-0 to start for Bauer. He is got on the year. He has about 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Here is the 2-0. And that first pitch is a now strike. So Colton Bauer digging in a 2-1 count. So still a hitter's count. A nice player out of Grove City, Ohio, and that one is fouled off. So now a 2-2.
That one tipped off of his shin. Looks like he's shaking it off a little bit, but he seems to be fine.
So in this order, like the bottom of the order for Ohio State is not given the production they have wanted. So this could be really nice for Hajar to get that groove going. Here's the 2-2 swing and a miss. So Hajar gets 2 down on strikes, his 4th strikeout of the day. And you left his his 3rd. No, it's his 4th strikeout of the day. So now in to the plate comes number 12. It is Totis. He is batting 184 on the year.
I'm looking at the bottom, the 5 through 9. You're absolutely right. It has a lot to be desired from production, at least.
That one is grounded shortstop, easy play, and he gets him to end the inning. Quick inning here in the top of the 2nd. Michigan, Ohio State still knotted at 0. Hits 1 apiece, 1 error for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So you mentioned the production here at the bottom of the lineup. It's just really not there for Ohio State. So you're looking at guys like DeZenzo that needs to really step up. It's going to be very tough for Ohio State to really generate runs. So if you're Michigan, and if you're Hajar, you can kind of get in that groove. Do you take maybe a time off? You can start to really experiment with some pitches in that 5 through 9 order. He just really cruised through that inning.
Absolutely, and if you're Michigan, you just want to milk Hajar as much as you can. As many innings. We've mentioned this at the top of the broadcast, but he's been phenomenal this season, both in terms of production and quality starts. He has his worst game so far. He only pitched 5 innings, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And even in that game, he only gave up 3 runs and 4 hits. It's not like he is giving up getting rocked or anything. It's between 5 innings, that's stellar. And so far, at least, he has 2 fantastic innings, only 1 hit given up, and 4 strikeouts. He is really racking up the strikeouts this season. He got in 6 innings at Penn State, and he got 11 strikeouts, which is incredible, nothing short of incredible.
He is the ace of the Wolverines, and he could be gone in the draft this year, as you mentioned to me earlier in the broadcast, Adam, off air. So now Garrett Burhen will try to do the same thing as Sems, the shortstop, digs in. He's got a .303 average, so he can create contact. 1 homer, 13 RBIs as he takes a strike 1. 20 hits on the year. So he has been productive. Not a power hitter, more of a contact guy for the Wolverines, as he'll take time, or at least try to, and he didn't get it, and that is a strike 2. So an interesting dynamic that just went on between Sems and the Empire. Did not get the time, so now an 0-2, and he's way behind after the breaking ball strike from Burhen. He digs in. The 0-2. That one is grounded towards the right side, and it's a base hit for Sems. He is on the board with an 0-2 base hit on the right side. The second baseman, Bauer, just could not get there towards the first base side, in between first and second. So now Michigan's got 1 man on with no man out. As stepping up is the DH, Ted Burton. He's also pretty good in terms of average. He's at .318, not a power guy. Hasn't played a lot. 0 home runs and 2 RBIs. He digs in. Righty-righty matchup. So 1 man on. Does Michigan elect to be aggressive on the base pass? I don't think so with Sems because he has 0 stolen bases on the season. He fakes it there, and then he takes a ball.
Yeah, that was a bit of an odd, like the opposite of a delayed steal. He took a fast jump, but then kind of held himself up about a quarter of the way down the base path.
Burton digs in for the 1 out. He grounds it. Oh, right. Good play by the third baseman. And that play, it's over the head. So now Michigan base runners can advance. The Burton could not, but Pohl does. So now runners on the corners with 0 outs. So a mistake again from Ohio State. That is their second error. So the middle infield and the first baseman not playing too well. Pohl has not played too well as the first baseman.
So that's definitely an error, but I'm curious who they put it on. If I were the scorekeeper, I'd definitely put it on Irwin, the third baseman, because that throw, although it was across the diamond from corner to corner, it wasn't accurate. It's kind of skipped in there, and obviously a elite first baseman could kind of scoop up those picks, but just unable to do that one, and it gave Michigan a second base runner from an error on the afternoon.
So now runners on the corners. Threatening are the Wolverines with the lefty Clark Elliott up to bat, hitting .291 on the year, 3 homers, 12 RBIs. He's the 7-hitter for the Wolverines. So the bottom of the lineup for the Wolverines, giving them production, unlike the Buckeyes, as another pickoff is not successful for the Buckeyes. They've had 1 successful one on the stolen base. So it's been interesting to see that the bottom half of the Wolverines order producing Ohio State not so much, at least through the first 2 innings.
All afternoon, we've seen Burhen be very self-conscious about the base runners. He keeps stepping off, looking them down, even trying to pick them off, even when they haven't had the biggest leads or anything.
That one was called a strike, so now an 0-1 to Elliott. And that was a nice breaking ball at 81. And another strike, 0-2. And can Michigan, runners at the corner, somehow, some way, produce a run? Because that would be a big step for your ace to get a run on the board, get some run support for your ace in Hajar.
It is 0 out, so I'd say it is quite a disappointment with runners on the corner if they can't get any runs this inning.
But I think this is a little ridiculous about what Burton's doing. This guy's not stolen a base all year, and Burton, he's 0 stolen bases, and he's still attacking him. It doesn't. Very interesting to see. Ohio State is very self-conscious, as you mentioned. Here's the 0-2. Another throwback did not get him.
How many has this been? Is that the 5th time already, this at-bat?
Pretty sure it's 4 or 5 times, definitely.
It is incredible, wild.
Trying to hold him on first base here in an 0-2 pitch with no outs. Michigan threatening first and third. And that is a strikeout. What a pitch. Another breaking ball from Burhen, and he retires. Clark Elliott now coming to bat is Tito Flores. He's hitting .230 on the year, 1 homer, 12 RBIs.
Yeah, just any ball in play, even if it's a fly, will likely bring in a run with 1 out.
And in old school baseball with 1 out, maybe you do a little pinch bunt. Try to get him home. You bunt it towards the first base side.
A sack squeeze or something.
A little squeeze. Let's see if they do it. And this time they got him.
Oh, wow.
They got him. What a play. So that throwing over paid off. And Michigan's base running has been an issue all day long. They know they're very self-conscious. Burton's been throwing over. You can't take a big lead. He got a little tied up, and Burton is retired from first base. So Ohio State threw 2 innings. 2 free outs from Michigan base running mistakes. That's why the game's 0-0. Here's the pitch. It's high to Flores. That is his first pitch he gets.
I'm still surprised, though, because while Burton was on first base, Burton didn't even look at Sims, who's on third base. Usually you see them do that to the lead runner.
That one is lined for a base hit. 1 run scores, and Tito Flores has Michigan on the board with a 2-out RBI single to get Michigan a 1-0 lead.
That came at a great time for the Wolverines, but you could only think what would have happened if Burden wasn't picked off from first base. He likely would be on third base right now. I don't know if they would have sent him home even.
So the bottom half of the Wolverine lineup giving them great production early in this game as can Bertram keep up the goodwill, the good faith. Here's the pitch. It is called for a strike as the sun rises over onto the field. So it could be some shadow issues possibly as we enter here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, it's pretty cloudy out. So the lights are actually on at Ray Fisher Stadium. Not something you usually see at 4:40 p.m.
So that one was called another strike after a swinging and a miss. So Bertram digs in here on the 0-2. This one is called strike 3. He wanted a timeout. They didn't give it to him. Now we've got an argument between Bertram and the ump as Bertram walks to his dugout. So Michigan gets a run after 2 guys on first and third. Ohio State and Burhen limit the damage as Michigan leads 1-0. And back out on the mound will be Hajar. So in that inning, a lot to unpack after that inning. What were your initial thoughts?
I am, as a Wolverine fan, you got to be glad to see them score runs after that with 0 outs, to have runners on the corners to actually get someone in. That's something they've kind of struggled with earlier in the season, is leaving runners on base, so they succeeded in that respect. However, it's quite concerning for Coach Bakich about the base running issues. They've already had 1 guy get caught stealing, which is quite rare, as you mentioned, for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They've had a 2nd guy get picked off at first base, of all places. When it was runners on the corner and they got the first base runner picked off, you almost never see that. It's outrageous. At least it's giving up free outs practically. But for Michigan, next time they're up at the bat, up at the plate, they will begin with the top of the order. And as we begin the 3rd inning, thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports, the student radio station at University of Michigan. This game is being simulcast on BTN Plus as well, so we appreciate you whether you're listening on YouTube or watching on BTN Plus. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us. Scotty Seymour's at the plate for the Buckeyes. First pitch is in and fouled. It's sent flying, but fouled on the first base side. We've seen a lot of guys be pretty late on Hajar. He's pitching pretty quickly. He has a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. This one is chopped up to shortstop, hustling down to first base, not enough, as Michigan gets the 6-3 put out right there to get another out. And Michigan, they retire the 7th straight batter for Hajar. He is in his groove right now. Not what a Buckeyes fan wants to see this afternoon.
He's been terrific. I mean, using all of his pitches, getting some easy ground-out strikeouts. He's already at 4.
Nick Irwin is up to the plate for the Buckeyes. And this pitch is low and inside for a ball, 1-0. The windup from Hajar. It's in, and once again, low and inside. This one was a bit of a changeup, an 83-mile-per-hour pitch, as it is 2-0 for Nick Irwin. He is the 9th hitter, so we got leadoff coming up next. Third pitch is quite high over the head Catcher had to stand up to get that one. It is 3-0 for Nick Irwin. He has the hitter's count right now. Wind up in the pitch. And he gets called strike. Wow. Nick Irwin started jogging down the first base line, and umpire made him pay for his hubris. Perry Costello, the home plate umpire, he has been less than a fan favorite for either team so far. Next pitch is in for a strike, and before we know it, it went from 3-0 to 3-2.
Changes just like that. Now Irwin has to dig in.
Absolutely. The pitch is in, and this one is inside and low. So Nick Irwin could finally take that first base he wanted to. We got the DH, Sam Wilson, coming to the plate. Nick Irwin, he is the first base runner since none other than Sam Wilson, who got on base at the start of the game. He is 1 for 0 today with that double that just barely found ground by the first base line in deep right field. First pitch is in for a called strike. Already has 35 pitches this afternoon for Hajar. Second pitch is in. This one is a little bit high. It's going to be 1-1. Irwin on first base isn't taking too much of a lead. And being held on by Obertop as well. And this one just barely tapped, but fumbled it, throws it down to first base and gets the out. It was almost prematurely trying to turn 2 there. And he couldn't hang on, but he's able to recover and check it over to Obertop for the second out of the inning, which will advance the runner, and I believe that's a fielder's choice technically too. But that was an odd hit. It looked like he was almost trying to check his swing, and he didn't even mean to. Hit it Wilson he was shocked when he made contact. It took him a split second to get moving down first base, and even then he was almost safe because Hajar almost fumbled it. Pitches into Oakley. He's 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Got a strikeout looking in the first inning. However, Irwin did advance to second on that play. The pitcher, he was looking like he was trying to turn 2, and that might be why he fumbled it, was unable to reel it in. But regardless, with 2 outs, a runner in scoring position. Second pitch is in for a called strike. It is 1-1 for Oakley. And OSU, Ohio State, they only have 1 hit all game, and they've only had 2 base runners. So despite that 1 hit coming at the very first batter of the game, Michigan has settled down and gotten under control and have played quite a fantastic game so far. This changeup, 72 miles per hour, real lob, almost like an E-fist, just barely gets over the plate, and it's a ball. 2-1. Mitchell Oakley at the plate right now, 242 on the season. This one now skips into the plate 3-1 as Michigan is looking to try to get out of this inning without surrendering a run with a runner on third base, or second base, excuse me. The windup in the pitch. This one is a bit outside, and now it's going to be runners at first and second. So a force out will be at any square base. And Michigan was in a pretty big shift for Oakley The shortstop was to the right side of second base, and the second baseman was close to first base right there. Oakley, as a left-hander, Bakic must be concerned about his ability to pull it. DeZinzo comes to the plate with 2 runners on. This pitch is way high over to the backstop, and both runners are going to advance 1 base. Looks like Hajar might be a little bit rattled with that. Now runners, so no, the only force out is at first base now with 2 outs. It is 1-0 for Zach DeZinzo at the plate. That last pitch, 89 miles per hour. And it went right over the catcher's, right over the umpire's head. Too much lift on it. Wind up in the pitch. This one swung at low and inside. And it's going to be 1-1. 2 runners in scoring position. Hajar is trying to get out of this inning unscathed. But a lot less rock solid than the past few innings. No one holding on the runners on either base, and Irwin is trying to get a little bit greedy. He took quite a large lead on that last pitch. It is 2-1 for DeZinzo. As Hajar's just looking right at the batter. Only guy that matters. Pitches in. This one is hit to deep center field. Going back is Rogers, getting under it and makes a grab. And with that, to close out the inning, 2 runners left on base. No hits, 1 walk. And that will finish up the day. Finish up the inning, as Michigan leads 1-0 going into the bottom of the 3rd inning. A bit rocky there, but able to get out of it with that fly out to right center from DeZinzo. And I guess we should go take a look around the Big Ten. Currently at the moment, Nebraska is leading the conference at 13-5. Michigan has the same number of wins, but 1 more loss. They're at 13-6, so they're second. And then Ohio State leapfrogged a handful of teams last weekend to get into 3rd place in the Big Ten after winning 4 games, while Indiana, they're now in 4th place, and Ohio State is mainly to blame for that because they gave them 4 straight losses last weekend. Indiana's on a 5-game losing streak. And then beyond that, we got Northwestern, who played Michigan last weekend down in College Park. Go figure. Then Rutgers following that. Michigan State at 10-10. Then you got Iowa below the Spartans, Maryland following them, then Illinois, Penn State, Purdue, and then Minnesota. So Michigan is certainly in this top echelon of the Big Ten, along with Nebraska, Ohio State, and Indiana. And Ohio State is certainly the hot team right now. And Michigan is looking to maybe stymie that momentum. Jordan Rogers, the leadoff batter for Michigan, is up. The first pitch is in, and 0-1. Rogers is 0-1 on the night. Second pitch is in. This one's also low, so it's 2-0 now. 2 balls, 0 strikes. As Jordan Rogers, he actually reached base on an error to start off the game, but was eventually picked off at 3rd base trying to steal, caught stealing. Third pitch is in, and it's a ball. It's 3-0. Definitely the count that the Wolverines want to see to start off this inning. And that's a called strike, so unable to take first base that easily. And then Burhan has 4 strikeouts on the afternoon, 32 pitches. And another called strike. So now it's a full count, just like we saw on the top of the inning. It quickly went from 3-0 to 3-2. And now Rogers is going to have to protect. Fouls this one off, tips it back into the netting. Staying alive, at least, as Michigan, they lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning on this absolutely beautiful Friday afternoon in Ann Arbor, Michigan. This pitch is in and kind of chopped over to third base, went foul. And once again, Rogers is really battling here. It's a full count, has already hit 2 of them foul. That last pitch was 93.3, and if I am correct, I believe that's the fastest pitch from Burhan all night. And that pitch comes in, and a swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 out for the Ohio State Buckeyes in the bottom of the 3rd. And Wolfetta comes up. He is 0 for 1 on the day as well. He had a strikeout in the top of the 1st inning, or bottom of the 1st inning. This pitch is in, and it's a called strike. Wolfetta doesn't seem to love that call. He took a bit of a step out of the batter's box. Some words for the umpire. Wind up and the pitch. And this one is a little bit inside, it looks like. It's going to be 1-1. And their pitch is on the way. And this one is lined to deep right center, finds turf. And, he rounds first base, and he brings it back and just barely makes it in time. That was a gutsy play right there. Wolfetta rounding first base. He decided not to go about halfway down the baseline, slid, had to get up and then scramble back to first base, and was just barely in before the throw came in. As that was a deep and long single.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great cutoff. Let's talk about that. That center fielder getting that cutoff in. Kern getting it in fast. That kind of limited Wolfetta's ability to get to second base. So instead of a guy on second, it's a guy on first.
Absolutely. And now it leaves the opportunity to turn 2 for Griffin Mazer up at the plate. And this one is sent flying into left field, right by the warning track, and it's caught for a fly out by Seymour. And that's going to strand Wolfetta at first base. He won't advance. Off the crack of the bat, it looked like that had the chance to go away, but the wind is really blowing in. It's blowing from about left field in towards first base. So that root must have kept it in, or at least brought it in closer. And it's 2 outs now. And pickoff attempt to first base, unable to be held on by Pohl, and finally gets to second, what he was unable to do earlier. So with 2 outs, gets a runner in scoring position. Heads-up play right there going, and a tough error by Pohl. That's his 2nd error of the day, and that's the team's 3rd error in the 3rd inning already.
And just watch out. I would not go to third base. That happened earlier here in the 1st inning when Michigan tried to get a little greedy on the base pass. I would be very careful because I think Burhan is very aware of that second baseman on base, Wolfetta. He does have 2 stolen bases on the year, 66.7% on the year. So I would be careful here in this situation.
Absolutely. 2 outs. It is 0-1 as the pitch comes in. Now it bounces, skips its way into the catcher. 1-1 now. And with a runner on second, with Mofetta on second, Jimmy Obertop just needs any hit pretty much, and will bring in a run. Maybe a ground infield hit might not, but anything to the outfield likely will. Mofetta, he's not the fastest guy on the team for the Wolverines, but he's also not the slowest. That pitch is in for a called strike. It is 1-2. Now Burhin winds up and goes down, and it bounces and unable to be called in. The catcher for the Buckeyes, Totis, points down to first base to see if he swung, and pretty clearly did not. The first base umpire said he did not either. So it is 2-2 as Jimmy Obertop is looking to extend this third inning for the Michigan Wolverines. And Burhin, despite it only being the third inning, he already has surrendered 44 pitches. And this one is a swing and a miss, and that will end the inning for the Wolverines with one hit and one runner left on base. As Michigan returns to the dugout without any runs. And we have Hajar coming out to the mound for his fourth inning of pitching.
Very interesting game so far. It's been a battle, as I expected, between the pitchers as a 1-0 lead for the Wolverines. They got that in the second, so not last inning, as Hajar has been terrific on the day, only surrendering one hit. He's retired, I think you said. It's got to be about 10 in a row right now, I'm pretty sure, since it's...
Yeah, without surrendering a run. He gave up a couple of base runners last inning. Neither of them were from hits, however. Yeah. One was a walk and one was...
There was 2 walks.
Was it a walk? The second one was also a walk, yeah. So he's not giving up hits. He did give up some base runners and got himself in a bit of a jam. But still, 1 hit through 3 innings is incredible. You'd be impressed to see Clayton Kershaw get that. And it's impressive at any level. I don't care if it's Little League or the National League.
So we are just about set to start this 4th inning as Michigan, once again, with a 1-0 lead over their arch rival, the Ohio State Buckeyes. As Hajar, he's been terrific on the year. He'll settle in to face probably Ohio State's best hitter in Cade Kern. So a battle between pitcher and hitter you will not want to miss. Here we go. First pitch, fouled off on the right side, going way over the stadium towards the parking lot. Hopefully it doesn't hit any cars as fans look over.
Yeah, I could never park in either of these lots. It would drive me too nervous about the foul balls.
This one is called strike 2. Inside part of the plate against Kern. He looks over, he shrugs, and now he digs in for the 0-2. He is 0 for 1 this evening, or this afternoon, as the 0-2 comes in. And that one, drive deep, left center field, back wall, and that ball's off the wall. Trying to play it is Flores. He'll go to second, trying to maybe go to third, but Cade Kern on the base path for a double for the second hit of the game against Hajar. What a hit from Cade Kern. He is their best hitter as advertised, as he hits it deep. I thought that was almost gone over that left field wall.
We mentioned the wind. It's really blowing in from left field.
So
that likely would have been gone if it weren't for the wind. And he's had 2 hits. His first appearance from Kern was a fly out to deep left field, and now this one was a double off of the wall in left field. I'm starting to sense a trend from him.
Here is the pitch to start. Here is Connor Pohl. He is 0 for 1 as well. Not as high of a batting average, but does he have the ability to tie this game up as the tying runner in Cade Kern is on base? Hajar working 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 hits. Here's the pitch in, and that is called for a ball. I thought that was almost a strike. A little, as the just a little bit inside. So now it is the 1-1 coming to pull the first baseman. He's actually had 2 errors on the day, so let's see if he can make it up in the batter's box. Pull digs in. That one is fouled towards the right side, again towards the parking lot, towards a moving car.
Pretty rocketed hit, however. That had quite a bit of oomph to it,
Yeah,
even though it went
early.
foul. Yeah, a little early is right.
So now the 1-2 as Hajar trying to get his first out here in the 4th.
And that last hit was the first hit for the Buckeyes since the very first batter of the game.
And the pitch. That one is lined towards left field, and what a diving play by Flores to hold it for the first out of the inning. Yeah, that was a fast one, a rocket in the left, and Flores gets the out on a line out as the runner stays at second, and 1 gone for Colton Bauer. He is 0 for 1 as well, hitting .214 on the year, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs.
Hajar is pretty consistent in this fastball, all of them clacking in at about 92 or 93 miles per hour all afternoon, showing no signs of fatigue so far.
Here with 1 out, digging in is Bauer. He deals, and that one is lined. Base hit into center field. He is coming home right now. No, he's going to stop at third. So a great play by Rogers to hold the runner in Kern at third. So now Ohio State's got runners on the corners with 1 gone.
And 2 outs surrendered already this inning. It already seems like, even we mentioned that the bottom of Ohio State's lineup is not the strongest, it's pretty weak, but they're finding a way to get on base. And the catcher comes out and signals to his infielders on a 1st and 3rd call. I remember in high school they'd used to do that a ton. Try to decide whether to throw down if the runner steals or not, who to pick off.
That one is inside as they try to look to throw to first to try to pick off the runner in Bauer. That did not work out because it was a fake throw. So now settling in is Hajar. Here's the 1-0. That ball is lined sharply towards second. There's one on the first. Double play. Michigan is out of it unscathed. A little fist pump from Hajar as Michigan gets a huge lift from their middle infield. That's been the difference so far. Middle infield of Michigan rolling. Ohio State's infield, they've got 3 errors. So Michigan holds their 1-0 lead. What a double play by the Michigan infield.
In that inning, two hits, no runs, and 1 runner left on base. Heads up play with that double play. If they wouldn't have finished it, he would have been safe at home, giving up the first run of the evening. But that slide into second right there was that heads up double play, because the base runner for the Buckeyes had a solid jump, Bauer. He was practically to second already, and a split second or 2 slower, he wouldn't have been able to turn the double play. The thrown over to first was much easier than getting the lead runner at second.
So now as we enter the bottom of the 4th inning, Burhan still looks like he is out there to pitch as Michigan holds their 1-0 lead. The pitcher's duel has continued. As we enter the middle part of the order, we got 5, 6, 7. It will be Semmes, Burton, Elliott. Semmes is 1 for 1. Burton 1 for 1 as well, and Elliott 0 for 1. So maybe some matchups you like here for Michigan. Maybe they can extend this lead, maybe open this game up a bit after that big play. That should give them a little bit of momentum as we are just about set to start the bottom of the 4th inning. Wind blowing as we enter past 5 o'clock here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, as they lead 1-0 after a big, big, big double play in the last inning. And now Benjamin Sims will dig in. He's 1 for 1, no RBIs, but a run. He's batting .313 on the year, as mentioned earlier. Burhan digs in, and we are just about set to go. And that one, first pitch, line to right field. That ball is carrying towards the right side and caught by the right fielder, Elliott, for 1 gone.
On the warning track, too. And Sims is really aggressive at that first pitch, and it almost cleared the fence even. Just a handful of feet away, and it probably would have gone over.
And that was all the wind. Felt like it kept pushing it towards that right side, not enough to go over. As Ted Burton will dig in, he is 1 for 1 as well, and with .348 batting average, 0 homers, and 2 RBIs. He'll dig in as that pitch is low for a ball. Now the 1-0. Burhan deals. Low. 2-0. And you talk about we talked about this earlier, but the bottom part of this lineup has brought the production for the Wolverines. They're responsible for that first and only run back in the second inning, as that pitch is called for a strike.
And 2-1 now for Ted Burton. He had that single early in the second inning, and that really, you mentioned it kick-started that production for Michigan.
And as that one was a swinging strike, so now the 2-2. As Burton fixes his bat, digs in with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Burton takes it. Ball again. So now we go to full.
You might remember Burton, too. He got picked off in that second inning. Kept throwing down like 5 or 6 times, and they finally got him with that 6th pickoff.
That one is lined over the middle of the second base for a base hit. Ted Burton. He is 2 for 2. Let's see if he can hold on first base, as you just mentioned. Hopefully he doesn't get picked off. And Ted Burton digs in. Now Clark Elliott comes to the plate. 1 on, 1 out for the Wolverines. Wolverines have managed to have a base runner in pretty much every inning. Burhead has been terrific as well. He's got 6 Ks on 1 earned run.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pitching duel back and forth. Mention how Ohio State is not the most offensive-heavy team. I think that plus today's wind has kept this really a battle between Burhen and Hajar.
That one is called a ball. It was just a little awkward for the catcher to handle. As Totis handles it, and now a 1-0. As we have a little stoppage as Elliott digs in back into the batter's box for the 1-0. That one is swung on and missed. So now a 1-1. So we got ones across the board, 1-1 with 1 out. Clark Elliott 0 for 1 on the day. He's batting .286 on the year, 3 homers and 12 RBIs. As he is batting today 7th in the order, kind of adjusts, as Adam mentioned earlier. That one is thrown over once again. You know Burhen is going to be looking to get a second pickoff against Burton. That one, he goes to Burton for that winner.
Some pitchers just are not fazed by base runners, while others, that's the only thing they could think about. If they got a runner on base, they can't help but at least look him down or pick him off.
This one, he is going, so Burton slides into second base for the second Michigan successful steal on the day.
And the catcher didn't even throw down Totis. He thought about it. He had when he was trying to transfer it to his arm, couldn't quite do it cleanly, so he decided against throwing. But it was a great jump by Burton.
Yeah, great jump. So now can Michigan bring Burton home with a 2-1 to Elliott with 1 gone here in the 4th. Pitch is on its way, and that one is driven out center field. Coming in is the left fielder in Seymour, and he makes the play. So 2 gone here in the 4th.
And once again, Michigan has a runner in scoring position. It's a question mark whether he will be able to be brought in by Michigan. However, Tito Flores is up. You might remember from the 2nd inning, he got that single, which brought in the first and only RBI of the game so far.
Can he produce again is the question. Here comes the pitch. That one is swung on and miss for the first strike. As clouds have started to creep in here in Ann Arbor, it is mostly cloudy with wind as it is getting colder, getting later in the day. Here is the 1-0. That one is swung on towards left field. Seymour coming in. That's going to be a base hit. And now coming home is Michigan, and that one is good. He gets into home, and then he gets to second. A big play. Tito Flores, the player of the day, with 2 RBIs, advancing to second as Michigan has a 2-0 lead as the dugout greets Burton after the stolen base. A stolen base leading to a run. That's exactly what you need to do against the Ohio State Buckeyes as Michigan takes a 2-0 lead.
Textbook manufacturing runs right there. You got a runner on first by an odd single, and then you move him on to second, and then you just keep working with that, and you get that double to bring him in, or I guess single, and then you advance on the throw. But that's what you need to do to crack open this game. And Tito Flores, he's now 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs.
So Michigan now up 2-0 as Riley Bertram digs in. Can they produce another run to open this game even further? The lefty, 0 for 1 today. Digs in. That one is driven deep to right field. Back towards the wall. The ball is caught on the right side by Oakley to end the inning. But Michigan gets a run to put the lead up to 2. It is 2-0 Wolverines as they get ready for the start of the 5th inning.
Yeah, we've seen it all afternoon. Any hits to left field, it's being kept in by the wind. And any hits to right field, nothing has gone out so far, but it gets to the warning track. But we've seen it all be pushed closer to the line. Like off the crack of the bat, it looks like it might be in center right, but then the wind just pushes it on into the corner there, and it's been caught all afternoon. But with that, it's 1 run on 2 hits, and 1 runner left on base for the Wolverines, and 0 errors. So Michigan takes a 2-0 lead. Looking around, I'm quite impressed with the number of fans here. It seems to be a pretty decent showing, even from the Ohio State fans. I know Columbus isn't the closest, but it's also not the furthest. Seem to come out for this weekend series. If I had to guesstimate, I'd say about 100 fans or so. And we even got some homemade signs in the crowd there, showing some team spirit. And people are getting pretty excited and pretty loud, even though it's bare bones fans. I believe it's only family that's allowed in. But they're making it loud and making the stadium seem full. And earlier this season, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the Big Ten announced they'd allow fans in at games. But so far, Michigan has only limited it to family of the players. And the first pitch of this 5th inning is in for a strike, 0-1. Hajar, 58 pitches so far. No runs, and he has 4 strikeouts. From the start of this game, we thought this would be strikeout heavy. In the first 2 innings, he got 4 strikeouts. Hasn't gotten any since then, but has yet to give up a run, however. Second pitch is in for a ball. Or third pitch, excuse me, it's 2-1 now. As Seymour is up, he has a 0 batting average on the season, has yet to record a hit. And this one is low and inside, but called a strike. It is 2-2. Scotty Seymour, the number 8 hitter at the plate. And this one is in, and this one is 2 low and 2 out, 2 inside. Going to be a full count for Seymour. And there's been 3 hits for Ohio State, 3 hits surrendered by Hajar. And this one is hit and swung on, and the wind's going to bring it pretty foul into the Ohio State bullpen down the first base side. As the sun is finally peeking through the clouds a little bit. Still a little bit dampened, but it is a beautiful day for spring baseball. When you think of baseball in Michigan, this is the days you like to think of. And another pitch in and another pitch fouled off, this time behind home plate. According to the radar gun, that had a 76 mile per hour exit velocity. And another fouled pitch. That one was a low fastball. He fouls it. He's been pretty late all of these pitches. He's had 2 fouled down the first baseline and a third one behind home plate. But it's still 3-2. But even if Scotty Seymour doesn't get on base, he's at least bringing up the pitch count. And this one is finally brought into the field of play. And a diving and unable to reel it in is Rogers in center field. He will get a double, and he's going towards third base, and he'll be in. Diving safely is a triple, and that is Scotty Seymour's first hit of the season.
Wow.
Down to third base.
That's how you battle.
Yeah, he battled, had a full count, got 3 foul balls, and had that screeching line drive to Rogers. He just couldn't reel it in. It looked like it tipped off of his glove. And the Elliott had to come in. Clark Elliott had to end up getting it. And by the time he brought it in, he was rounding second and was practically safe in at third already. And that is the 4th hit surrendered by Hajar. So 4 innings pitched so far. 4 strikeouts, 4 hits. First pitch is in, and it's low for a ball 1. The second pitch, and it's a called strike, 1-1 for Nick Irwin. His very first at bat, we saw him battle to get a walk, and then he eventually advanced to third base, but he was left stranded. And that was in the 3rd inning. A bunt laid down, and he pulls it back. And I believe that'll be a ball. It is 2-1 now.
Interesting strategy to bring in the bunt into play. The question will be, if they continue to bunt, or they try to, can Seymour get home in time before the pitcher or the catcher retrieves it? It's more common in a squeeze situation when you have a guy on first.
And this is hit into play to second base, and he will get a fielder's choice out as he scores a run. So first run of the game for the Buckeyes as Seymour comes in from third base. Second baseman Bertram decided not even to throw home, just get the easy out. And now it is a 2-1 game. Michigan still in the lead as the leadoff hitter Sam Wilson, the designated hitter, is up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 today, had that leadoff double at the top of the game, but had a ground out in the 3rd inning. I'm curious how much of a leash they give Hajar. He's still having a decent afternoon, but I'm curious whether they give him a 6th inning if he gets out of this one. Whether Coach Bakich, he currently has no one warming up in the pen, so that could be a glance into it as hand. And this pitch comes in, and this one is low and inside. 3-0 for Sam Wilson. One pitch away from taking first base. And now the windup and the pitch. And strike. He was on his way to first base when that got called. We've seen that quite a bit from Ohio State today, where it's been 3-0 or 3-1. And a ball comes in, and they get on their way before it even is called. And another ball comes in. That's a strike. Now it's a full count. Once again, we've seen it go from 3-0 to 3-2 in just a matter of 2 pitches. And this pitch goes in and is lined foul. It is 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the 5th inning, as 1 run has already come in. No runners on base at the moment. 4 hits by Ohio State, but they were able to bring one of those in already. And this one is put into play, and it lands in between shortstop and left field, kind of in the no man's land, kind of a bloop, little blip shot right there. And with that, Sam Wilson gets his 2nd hit of the game and trots over to first base for that single, as Mitchell Oakley comes up to base.
Is there anyone in the bullpen right now? Because it seems to me that Hajar is tiring out a bit. He's now surrendered a couple hits in this inning. He's already at 5.
I don't see no one's in the bullpen right now, but Coach Bakich might have someone warm up shortly. First pitch is hit on, and fly out right to center field as Rogers gets under it and gets the 2nd out of the inning. Holds Wilson at first base. So although 5 hits have been given up and 1 run, and just as you say that, Michigan looks like they'll have someone warm up in the pen. Let's see who they got right now, but it is Zach DeZinzo up for the Buckeyes. They got Wilson taking a bit of a lead at first. First pitch is in, and it is called for a strike. And the Buckeyes are looking to get another run this inning. They've already gotten 1. This one is put into play in between shortstop and second, rolls to center field, and it'll advance the runners a base. So runners at first and second. They're finally seeming to crack Hajar. And with that, that is Will Proctor is in the pen, warming up, the junior out of Manhattan Beach, California. So it looks like Bakich is looking to maybe get someone new in next inning. He coming out from the pen is the batting coach for Michigan, or pitching coach, excuse me. Has given up already a handful, 3 hits this inning, and 1 run. I doubt they'll pull him from this inning yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have him come out to start the 6th. Since it's only a 1-run game, I'd be pretty shocked if they give him a huge leash. But Michigan's pitching coach goes back to the pen as Hajar returns to the mound. Runners are on first and second. For the Buckeyes, you got Sam Wilson, the leadoff hitter, at first. DeZinzo is at first. As Hajar, he's had 80 pitches, too. That's another thing to consider. Not only the number of hits he's given up and the number of runs, but also the pitch count. You don't want to burn him out. This one is kind of lobbed in and way over the head of the batter, and that'll be a ball. 1-0. 72 miles per hour for that changeup. And Cade Kern is up. We've seen him get 2 blasts to left field already. He had one that was a fly out on the warning track, and then a double which was hit off the wall into left field. So both of those went to left. We see Tito Flores already taken a step back. But just as I say that, the wind begins to pick up once again, coming in from left field. Might hurt Cade Kern. This one is grounded over to second, and it gets into the outfield. Runner is sent home, and he's not in time, safe, and the game is tied up as Sam Wilson rounds on that grounder all the way from second base. And now it is a tie game, 2 apiece. He got an RBI right there from Cade Kern. Michigan, had a huge shift on. The second baseman, Bertram, was practically at second base, leaving a huge gap between first and second because Obertop was obviously holding on DeZenzo, at first base. And now Kern just cracked it wide open. As Connor Pohl is up, he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a line out today. Pitches in, and it's a bit low. Will Proctor is stretching out. He has yet to throw to anyone, but I would imagine he is who Bakich will go to lead off next inning. Already has 4 hits so far. 2 runs. This one is in, and it's a called strike, 1-1. Hedger's just looking to get out of this inning. He has already given up 2 runs this inning, and runners are on the corners as Connor Pohl is up. And this one is fouled off right into the net. Rocket. As we've started to see Hajar's velocity slow down a little bit as well. He started the game at about 93, and now his fastballs are barely breaking 90. And running is first base, but this is a grounder right to Bertram. He flips it over to Obertop and gets out of that inning as 2 runs for the Buckeyes on 4 hits, 2 runners left on base as Michigan is tied with Ohio State. And what does Michigan need to do in the future? Do you think they stick with Hajar one more inning? Do you think they put in Proctor, who they've been warming up?
Yeah, I thought it was a mistake at first, not warming up Proctor earlier. I mean, you saw it a little bit in that 4th inning that he was kind of slowing down a bit. I would have brought him in warming up so he was ready in case that would have happened. We would have taken him out after that first base hit if you saw him tire out, and that did not happen. So now we're in a tie game. So now that the whole scope of this game changes, there's no lead anymore. So now you got to generate some offense. Burton will come out probably in the start of this inning. Burham. So now the top of the order, Rogers, Molfetta, Mazur, they got to generate some offense, regain this lead because right now Michigan and the coaching staff, a couple of boneheaded plays. That was one of them. They should have warmed up Proctor a little bit earlier, brought him in a bit earlier. That would have probably limited the damage, in my opinion, because they were teeing off on the starter.
Absolutely. But you look at Hajar, he's always pitched at least 5 innings at the minimum. His worst game in terms of innings pitched was 5 innings against Illinois. And in that game, he only gave up 4 runs. The most, until today, the most he has given up is 6 hits. He gave up 7 already. So I'd be pretty surprised to see him go another one. but you never know, especially these long series. You don't want to be burning through all these relief pitchers. You want to have as many available.
Well, now the game has changed, and Jordan Rogers will come up to bat.
Exactly. Rogers, he's 0 for 2 on the afternoon. First pitch is in, and it's a called strike. It's high in the batter's box.
So now in the batter's box is Rogers, and he takes the first pitch. Strike now the 0-1 delivers. That one is grounded towards the shortstop. Easy play, and that is one away. DeZenzo to pull as Ohio State gets their first out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now heading up to the plate, it's Molfetta. He is 1 for 2 today, probably the best hitter, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. He's got a 333 average, 2 homers, 11 RBIs. Burhan with 6 Ks on 2 runs. No walks, which is very impressive. That one is low for ball 1. No one currently warming up for Ohio State as I see, so we could expect Burhan to go through this 5th inning.
Yeah, and he's had a great afternoon, only 2 runs given up on 7 hits. No one warming up yet in the pen. As Molfetta 1 for 2 on the afternoon. That one hit came from a single in the 3rd.
The pitch is lined towards the left side and foul towards the Michigan bullpen.
This is interesting. Proctor has sat down in the pen, so I wonder if that means he's already warm. He was only stretching for a handful of minutes. I didn't even see if he threw very much, but it might be that they'll give Hadjar another inning. You never know.
Here's the pitch in for a strike, and Molfetta did not like that call. It's now a 2-2, and a little upset as he steps out of the batter's box. So Michigan, Ohio State now tied because of 2 answered runs by the Buckeyes in the top of the 5th. Can Michigan respond here in the bottom half, as that one is inside for another ball? So now we turn full. As the sun, we'll give you an update on that. On the left side, you see the blue skies. On the right, you see some gray skies.
I think with how cloudy it's been, the sun's not even going to be much of a factor.
Here's the throw towards first, and what a scoop by Pull. It was a great play, and finally the first good play for this middle infield of the Buckeyes as they get 2 gone, and Mazur steps up as Burhan looks still terrific through 4 2/3.
Yeah, and just like this half inning has flown by. 2 up, 2 down, and it's the complete opposite of what Hadjar went through in the top of the 5th inning.
Here is the pitch to Mazur. He takes it inside for a ball. Mazur is 1 for 2 as well, hitting about 246 on the year, 4 homers, 15 ribbies. Mazur digs in here on the 1-0. Pitch inside, another ball. So a hitter's count. Look for, as the saying goes, a fastball from the pitcher and the hitter to look for a nice pitch and maybe lay off.
Absolutely. And Mazur looking to just get a spark or anything, even though it's the top of the lineup. They've been quiet this half inning.
Very. And they've been quiet a little bit all day. The bottom of the order, it feels like the Burton, Sims, Flores combo have done most of the offensive plays.
Absolutely, and pitches coming in, and this one was high, and he'll finally get a base runner this inning. 4 straight pitches, and I think that's the first time all afternoon we've seen a walk on 4 straight pitches. We've seen a lot of 3-0s, But we've also seen a lot of times where they battle back from that. Either ended up getting the strikeout or possibly getting at least a full count, even if a walk is surrendered. With that, Mazur's going to be on first base, taking a bit of a lead. Wonder if we'll see him steal. He's not the fastest guy on the team, far from it. As a catcher, you usually don't see catchers steal too often. Maybe Joe Mauer, but he was about it. Pick off to first, and he dives in safely. It's been a theme all afternoon. Burhan just keeps getting cautious. He, with any runner on base, he's instinctively wants to check him down. This pitch is in for a called strike. 0-2 with 2 outs for Obertop. Obertop, he has 8 home runs on the season and 20 RBIs, 19 hits. Another pickoff attempt, safe, but this one was a little bit close. Maybe he'll try and catch him sleeping. He's already caught one guy sleeping. He caught Elliott earlier. And this one is grounded over to third base and flips it over to first for the 5-3 put out. And that's going to finish up this inning. 1 runner left on base, 0 hits, 0 runs at the bottom of the 5th. This game is over, halfway done. It is 2 runs apiece. Let's see who comes on out, and it looks like Hajar's going to at least go another couple batters with this. That's a gutsy move, depending on how inconsistent he's been the past couple of innings. He started off really strong, but then ended up giving up 2 runs last inning. He gave up a handful of hits the inning before that.
And now, still on the mound, it looks like, very interesting, Hajar is still on the mound. Something I did not expect. I don't know if you expected that. Adam, what do you think about this?
I'm pretty shocked. We saw Proctor warming up, but then we saw him sit down while Michigan was batting, and that makes this less surprising. But I'm surprised that Bakic had him sit down. I would have thought try and get him in for this inning, but he has faith in his ace, and that is commendable for the head coach. He's going with his guy, and if he could get 6 innings out of him, with only 2 runs, that is a solid game.
Well, if you look at just looking at the stats early, the top of the order is where Ohio State has had their damage done. I mean, out from 5 to 9, there's been 2 hits. So you look at there's some matchups I think they like, and that's the direction you want to go here in sticking with your ace. It's a very interesting decision. I might not have done it, but they're rolling with it. So here we go. Hajar is in. There are a couple guys I think are warming up in the bullpen.
It looks like just Proctor at the moment, but we'll keep you updated.
Digging in is Bauer. He is 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch, swing and a miss. A nice breaking ball at about 81 miles per hour. Let's see. We're also going to keep an eye on the velocity. Does that go down as we enter the 6th inning? As that one is another breaking ball, just a bit outside at about 74. That was a changeup, it looks like. Here's the 1-1. Ball is called for a strike. So now a pitcher's count. That's exactly what you want to hear if you're a Wolverine fan. Now 1-2 coming to Bauer. Working fast is Hajar. Here's the 1-2. Ball is lined for a base hit. And the struggles continue. As an easy hit, it was a hanging breaking ball that Bauer said, let me eat that for breakfast. And he lines it in to center field for a base hit.
That exit velocity, according to the radar, had a 102 exit velocity off of a 75-mile-per-hour changeup. He just rocketed it right into center field as a liner. Screeching line or laser beam had nothing to Michigan could do about that.
And he has not thrown a fastball today. As now we've got the manager heading out. Let's see if he signals the call to the bullpen. Or maybe he's just stalling for time. Let's see.
Yeah, you sometimes see these managers go out so their bullpen could have a little bit more time to warm up potentially. I'm sure he's probably questioning his decision to sit down Proctor during the inning and keep him from warming up. But Brent Totis is up, the catcher. He's 0 for 2 today, including a ground out and a double play. So double play would be big right now for Michigan with Bauer on first base. And Ohio State has not had a lead yet all day. It's been tied twice, and Michigan has had the lead for several innings, but no lead for the Buckeyes. This rivalry is certainly a storied one between the Buckeyes and Michigan and the Wolverines. You think of it in terms of football, but also in baseball. They've been in the Big Ten forever, it seems like. On the season series, or on the all-time series, excuse me, it's been 166 to 101 as Michigan leads in that one. And with that, Hajar comes in. So I guess they will be going to the bullpen, getting someone else to come on out.
But why not just bring him in at the start of the inning?
Yeah.
Troubles me because now you just put a guy on base, and he's had 8 hits today. Hajar gave up 8. So now in is Proctor. Let's see, the righty.
And, yeah, that is a question. It's maybe you want to see if he's settled down, but pull him at any sign of concern, and that's what he did. Did not give him much of a leash at all this inning. And that runner on first base, Bauer, will be assigned to Hajar, so he has the chance to potentially give up a third earned run this game. But regardless, this wasn't a terrible start for him. I know we're kind of pessimistic here, but compared to his season, this might be a bad start, but he still had a quality start, I guess. It's 5 innings and only 2 runs given up. I believe that counts as a quality. Or is a quality start, is it 5 innings or is it 6 innings?
I think it might be 6.
Yeah. Might be 5 for a win or 5 for a decision and then 6. But regardless, 5 innings and 2 runs, 7 hits or 8 hits isn't great. But it's not terrible. It's not like he was rocked or anything. So it might not be up to his standards, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, and the quality start is at least 6 innings and permits no more than 3 earned runs. He obviously did not qualify for the 6th inning, so technically, according to John Lowe from the Philadelphia Inquirer, that is not a quality start, which is what the MLB based it off of.
So not quite a quality start, and this will probably go down as one of his less great chances of the game opportunities. But as of now, he is not in the position to take a decision, either a win or a loss. There's a chance he could get saddled with a loss if that runner on first ends up scoring and Michigan doesn't take the lead back.
Here's Proctor. Here we go. As Ohio State tries to steal, as an interesting wrinkle to try to maybe catch Michigan off guard.
And this is the beginning of a 3-game series, too. So we got today's game at 4, tomorrow is at 2, and then Sunday is at 4 as well. And WCBN will be broadcasting all 3 of those. So tune in.
Here's the 1-1, and that one is high. So now we go to 1-1.
And Brent Totis, once again, 0 for 2. He has a 176 batting average on the season. But he's the catcher for Ohio State.
What is lined for a base hit in the left. So now 2 men on, no men out. As Proctor gives up a base hit, and you can feel the energy and the momentum from the Ohio State dugout as they look to take the lead once again, or for the first time today, excuse me.
And now Scotty Seymour, he had that monster blast of a triple in the 5th inning, I believe. Yeah, 5th inning, and he ended up scoring as well. So he has a chance to get an RBI here. He got the first run of the game, and now he has a chance for a go-ahead RBI, the first go-ahead RBI of the game, too. He is 1 for 2 today. He has a 200 batting average on the season. He must have not gotten too many at-bats because that was his first hit of the season last inning.
So the 8-hitter digs in. 2 men on, no men out. As he looks to bunt, and that ball is called for a strike. So a bunt would probably try to move those base runners over. If you don't trust Scotty Seymour in this situation, he did, as you just mentioned, have that first hit. So maybe you give him a chance. We will eventually see. As Proctor.
That's probably a good move to bunt with 0 outs and 2 runners on, just to advance them. There's little downside to that. It's Proctor. He looks down to second base, trying to keep Bauer honest. Pitches in, and that's a called strike as well.
So now the bunt goes away.
Yeah.
So very interesting that he got 2 strikes and 0 bunts off.
He technically still could bunt, but that would not be a wise move with 2 strikes.
Now looking to swing most likely is Seymour, as it is the 0-2 coming from Proctor.
Once again, he steps off the rubber and looks over to second. That's the difference between Proctor and Hajar. Hajar didn't get flustered by runners. He would barely even look, let alone pick off or attempt to pick off. Proctor has already looked twice.
And a swing and a miss, so Seymour goes down. A big strikeout for Proctor to get 1 gone, and now a chance for a double play to end the inning.
Absolutely, and this would be huge for the Wolverines to get out of this inning unscathed. Nick Irwin, the 9th hitter, he's batting .220 on the season, so not the best batter on the Buckeyes, but a double play would be huge. All square bases have 4 outs.
Here's the pitch coming in, and that is a ball, a little right into the outside. Nick Irwin on the day, 0 for 1 with an RBI. Did have a walk, I'm pretty sure, earlier in the game.
He had a walk in the 3rd inning, and then in the 5th inning, he had a ground out that scored a run.
That pitch is again outside for ball 2. Wind has not stopped blowing here at the stadium. Those flags by the softball stadium just continue to move. Here's the 2-0. That one is grounded to the pitcher. Chance for 2. Oh, a slow throw by Proctor, but regained, and the double play works out. A big play from Will Proctor to get out of the inning as Michigan unscathed once again. It is 2-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
That was a 1-4-3 double play, and big props to Bertram, the second baseman. That ball skipped in there. The throw from Proctor to the second baseman skipped, but Bertram had no trouble digging it out and getting the first out at second and then throwing it to first to close out the inning. I feel like it was almost a prophecy right when he came up. You predicted, you're like, he could turn a double play and get Michigan out of this, and that's exactly what happened.
And that is what happened. I think that is still the same pitcher if I'm wrong. But we're about a minute of the way from the start of the bottom of the sixth. Hajar has been out if you're just joining us, and Proctor in turning the double play as the final line will come for Hajar. He gave up 8 hits, 5 innings pitched, and 2 earned runs. He struggled down the stretch. Not his best start, as Adam mentioned earlier. But hey, they're tied. It's 2-2. He didn't fluster. It was definitely not his best, not his worst. It was a fine start. Meanwhile, for Ohio State, they stick with, I think, the same pitcher in
Yep,
Burhan.
Burhan is still there, and he's looking to get his quality start. You looked it up. 6 innings and under 3 runs. If he gets out of this inning without giving up more than a run, he'll be due for that quality start. Well, it's kind of like a geeky sabermetric stat, but it is does say something meaningful as Sims comes to the plate.
Here is Sims digging in. Pass, pitches hit in on the right side for a base hit as Sims gets on first pitch, first hit for Benjamin Sims. He was 1 for 2 coming in. Now he's 2 for 3 and increases his average over 309. As now heading into the box will be Ted Burton. He's been perfect today, 2 for 2, hitting .375 on the year, 0 home runs, 2 RBIs. He has 1 run as well. That came in, I think, the second. That run from Burton. So now he'll step in as Burhan continues.
That run actually came in the 4th, but yep, Burton contributing to Michigan's tie game right now.
So that pitch was low, and now that comes in for a ball, so now a 1-0. As Michigan looking to get a run, as there is, I think, a couple guys warming up in the bullpen. I can't really see from my angle, but I do see people throwing. We'll get you that update as soon as we can, as that pitch coming in is another ball. So 2-0, as now Burhan shows signs of a hit. Now 2-0, shows signs of a little flustering, little fatigue, as Ohio State looking to warm up some guys in the bullpen as well. So it could become a chess match down the stretch as the game is tied. Can Michigan get the lead here in the 6th? Pitch comes, 2-0, and it's low again. So now a 3-0 to Burton. Do you allow him to swing in this situation?
I'd say, yeah, it's a tie game. You got to take some risk. Even if it's a perfect pitch, don't hold off. Obviously, if it's less than perfect, I'm fine with him taking a pitch. But I guess I'm against restrictions of coaching. When I was a player in high school, like I hated when coaches would say, regardless, don't swing on like certain situations. I hated when they're like, don't swing at the first pitch. I hated when they said don't swing at 3-0. Just like some pitches are great and you leave opportunities on the field.
Oh, he almost got him at first. That was a great pickoff opportunity for Burhan. Luckily for Michigan, Sims gets back, and Burton, he did not swing at that 3-0. It was called for a strike, and now a 3-1 as time is called by Burton. He digs in, and here we go. 3-1. Again, he's trying to pick him off, and Sims gets right back.
We've seen that all afternoon. I wish I started keeping a tally of the number of pickoffs. It would be pretty wild just to realize how often, but it feels like at least 24 times. Jeez. Then he goes again, just as I'm saying that, unsuccessfully. He's only picked off 1 guy, but they did catch someone stealing as well, and you could argue that they caused it by the number of pickoffs.
And that could save him from a double play. It did not, and that is a double play. So even the steal, that jump did not help Mr. Sims, and that is a big double play for Burhan to get to 2 outs here in the 6th.
Yeah, then that's going to kill some momentum for the Wolverines. 0 outs, runner on first, to 2 outs, no runners on. Clark Elliott's up. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. But maybe the picking off actually kind of paid off because may have made him a bit reluctant to steal there, and he didn't get as good of a jump, and it may have saved the double play. So you never know what unintended effects these have.
So as Elliott takes his first pitch for a ball, he is 0 for 2 on the day, the lefty number 7 hitter. Here's the 1 out. That one is grounded softly, trying to make the plays. Burhan, can he get there? Oh, it's an overthrow. So Elliott is going to go to second. Does he try for third? No, he won't. But Michigan now with a runner on scoring position for Tito Flores, who's been the money man for the Wolverines, probably the player of the game. He's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. He's been terrific today. Can he drive home a third? That will be the question as he steps up to the plate.
He always seems to come up with someone in scoring position. He is lucky like that. 2 RBIs, you're exactly right. He came up in the second, he got that single RBI single. Came up in the fourth, got that RBI single. 2 outs now, looking to do the same. We got the Ohio State manager coming out to the mound. I wonder if he'll make a change now or at least let him finish this inning. I'm curious who they give the error to on that one, whether it's the pitcher or the first baseman.
I thought it was an errant throw.
You think so?
Yeah.
So the pitcher?
I think it should be on the pitcher. We will see as the umpire comes out to break up this little meeting. Michigan 2, Ohio State 2, bottom of the 6th. What a game we have seen from both these teams. It's turned into a pitcher's duel to a little bit of a pitcher's duel, but a little bit of action. We've had action, I feel like, in about every inning. Not a lot of 1, 2, 3s. So here is Tito Flores stepping up to the plate with a chance to bring the go-ahead run home to the plate.
Absolutely. And first baseman, Pohl, he already has 2 errors committed on him. And that last play, it is given to the pitcher, so you were correct. But he has 2 other ones tonight.
Here is the pitch in for a ball just high from Burhan.
If Michigan is able to squeak out a win here, I think Flores is definitely in contention for today's MVP with those 2 RBIs already.
Flores drives one deep to left field. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Tito Flores. What a day for number 22. He's got 2 RBIs and now a home run to bring it up to 4 RBIs to bring Michigan up 4-2 as Tito Flores loving it as he steps on home plate.
This is a career day for the sophomore Flores. All 4 runs today driven in by Flores. He has 3 hits, including 2 singles and a 2-run home run deep over the fence. Barely squeaks in by the left side in left field, by the right side of the foul pole.
Tito Flores, what a big play. As that first pitch coming in to Bertram, can he follow it up? Will be the question as Michigan has now opened up the lead to 2 runs. It gives Proctor and this Michigan pitching staff a little bit of comfort as they lead by 2. It is 4-2 as Bertram takes 2 straight balls and now another hitter's count. He is 0 for 2 on the day, the number 9 hitter and second baseman.
So Flores, he's the 8th hitter, but he's been the most productive all afternoon for either team.
He's been terrific, and he's moved that batting average up to 264. I think he started the day in the 230s, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about right.
So now the 2-1. Ball is just a little outside, a little high as well. So now a 3-1, and Michigan has a chance to get more base runners to open up this game even more here in the 6th. Here's the 3-1. That one is high. No, he's going to call it a strike. I thought it was a bit high. The ump does not agree with me. And now the count turns full.
And it looks like Bertram thought it was a bit high, too. He took a couple of steps towards first base.
Here's the 3-2. That was high and another walk for the Wolverines. So Burhan has tired just a bit, and Ohio State feel like they're running the same problem Michigan had in the 5th inning, where the pitcher, the bullpen, is not ready for Burhan to be replaced. And now he's a little fatigued as well. Can Michigan take more advantage of it? As Jordan Rogers digs in, and now I think this is time for a little switch.
I would imagine. And on first base, that will be from Bertram, will be Burnham will be responsible to Bertram. But assuming he is pulled right now, he would have gone 5.2 innings, given up 4 runs, 10 hits. He wasn't exactly supported by his defense. 4 errors committed by his team, but to be fair, one of those was a throwing error on him. So it kind of is his responsibility. But a solid game, but it might not be enough. He is currently the pitcher record. If it is a loss, he'll be taking that loss for the Buckeyes. And we have number 42 coming in for Ohio State. Let me pull up on the roster who that is. That is Joe Gamm, the senior out of Richfield, Wisconsin. Joe Gamm will be pitching right now. I wonder if they keep him in for next inning if he gets out of this. But it's been some 2-out rally for the Wolverines. They began with that single by Elliott, and he advanced on Burnham's throwing error. And then obviously Flores had that monstrous blast over the wall and left field, and then Bertram walked. So quite a 2-out rally to really crack open this game. It feels like the momentum is completely one-sided at the moment.
It does feel that way. It's the sun now. Beautiful day. It has really opened up. You thought the sun wasn't coming out. It had other plans, and now it's shining all over the baseball diamond. As Jordan Rogers will look and scout the new pitcher in Gamm, as we are just about set as Rogers walks towards the batter's box as Michigan looks to advance their lead up from 4-2 as they have the 2-run home run. Tito Flores 3 for 3 on the day. He's been the stud and probably the MVP if the score hold it right now. Here is Rogers. He'll dig in. He's 0 for 3 today as a first throw over, and that one gets away as it got away from the new pitcher Gamm as they try to pick him off the tap a couple times. Now advancing to second is Bertram.
Yeah, Gamm with that pickoff attempt way too high. It was 3 or 4 feet above Pole's head, and he has 2 errors himself, but even that one was not his fault. It's lucky he stayed in the field of play. It just barely tipped off the fence. That could have gone out of bounds and could have sent Bertram to third base, but now he's at second.
It has been 5 errors for the Ohio State Buckeyes. 5.
That's the difference in this game, because those errors would have been outs, and a lot of times, especially in this inning, that error could have finished up the game or finished up the inning for Michigan.
Here's the pitch just a bit outside.
And the Buckeyes are just trying to get out of this inning, return to offense, maybe regroup, maybe get a new pitcher in for the next inning. They already got 2 people warming up in the pen.
Here's the pitch called for a strike, so now 2-1.
I'm curious for the Wolverines whether they keep in Proctor for the top of the 7th. He had a quite solid 6th inning.
Keep him in, I think. I think he's pitched pretty well. Got out of that double play. Didn't really pitch a lot. Here's the pitch, and that one is low. as Rogers waves over to Bertram to stay at second, as now it is a 3-1. This 2-out rally getting a whole lot more interesting for the Wolverines. They got a guy on second after the overthrow from Gam towards first. And now Rogers in with a 3-1 hitters count. Here we go. That one is lined towards left field. Back and caught by Seymour to end the inning. A good contact, just not enough, as Michigan gets 2 here in the 6th.
And that is 1 runner left on base, 3 hits, including that 2-run RBI or 2-run home run from Flores. And Michigan takes a 4-2 lead, headed into the 7th inning. And just as quickly as the sun came out, it went back behind the clouds. I'm looking at the weather for the rest of this weekend series. I'm a little bit concerned. It's supposed to rain starting at 4 p.m. tomorrow and continue all throughout Sunday, it looks like. Tomorrow's game is supposed to start at 2, so maybe they'll get a couple innings in. And depending on how hard it rains, depends on what Sunday's game will be like. But as of now, it's beautiful, 73 and partly cloudy.
That is good news. And now it is Proctor still in the game, which is what we expected. Can he hold off the Buckeyes as we enter the 7th inning here in Michigan?
Absolutely. And it's just been all about Tito Flores tonight. In the 2nd inning, he got that 1 RBI single. In the 4th inning, he got that 1 RBI single. And then in the 6th inning, he got that 2 RBI, 2-run home run. So he's been doing it all single-handedly, carrying this Michigan team on his back.
So Sam Wilson will step in. He's 2 for 3 on the day.
Okay, and Sam Wilson, he is the leadoff hitter, the DH. He has that leadoff double to begin the game, and then he had a single in the 5th inning and eventually scored one of the 2 runs by the Buckeyes. First pitch is in from Proctor, and that will be a called strike. It is 0-1 to begin this at-bat. Wilson looking to get a spark going, possibly a comeback to last inning's powerful offensive drive by Tito Flores. Pitch is in, and it's a low ball. 1-1. Here's a windup from Proctor. The pitch comes in. This is fouled off right into the net behind the backstop. It is 1-2 now as Sam Wilson falls behind a little bit. Pitch is coming in, and grounder right up the middle, right where Bertram was. He throws it to first base a bit high. Obertop jumps to get it, but he will be safe. Although he caught the ball, he was off the base, and by the time he landed, he was safe. That was a bang-bang play right there, but just unable to get the out. I wonder if they'll call that an error, and yes, they will on Bertram. So that is the first error committed by Michigan. Errors have been a key part of the game for the Buckeyes. That is the first one for Michigan, but Oakley comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today, but he did get a walk in the 3rd inning, looking to potentially advance a runner at the moment. And a time called by the Michigan coach. We got Bakich coming on out. Wonder if he'll be making a change this early in the inning. That would be a real shock after one batter on a routine grounder that he only reached on an error to pull him, but maybe he doesn't want to give him that much of a leash. I'm not sure. Proctor pitched last inning. He got 1 strikeout, no earned runs, and no hits given up. And then right now he gave up that error. And let's see what the decision will be.
I think they're switching. It up. Umps are pointing that way.
Yeah, and here comes Wolverines. So that'll be the end of Proctor's night. Still a very solid inning of relief. I'm sure Michigan fans would have liked to see him go 2 potentially, especially in this weekend series. You don't want to burn through pitchers too willy-nilly. But regardless, we got trying to see who's coming in. I can't quite see the number.
It's number 32.
32. Is
Joe
that
Pace?
Joe Pace? I see. Is that right?
Oh, that should not.
My score sheet says Joe Pace is an infielder, so that would be quite odd to see him pitching. But maybe my score sheet is incorrect. Yeah, the Jumbotron says it is Joe Pace.
So he obviously pitches and plays the field. He has 11 innings on the year, 6 hits, 2 walks. He's got a .82 ERA.
Yeah, this is interesting. He's both. Don't see too many guys do that in college. You see that pretty frequently in high school and definitely in Little League. Guys who go both ways. But as a infielder and an outfielder and a relief pitcher. But he has a 2-0 decision record this season on 11 innings pitched in 0.82 ERA. So he's really quite pulling out a great season. He's a graduate student out of Valley Village, California. And he's pitched a ton of this season and exclusively pitched last season during the shortened 2020 campaign. But then he also pitched in his junior year in 2019 when they went to the when Michigan went to the World Series, but he also played. So he's doing a bit of both. So I guess we need to update our rosters. He is both an infielder and a pitcher, and he's doing quite a bit of relief work recently. And the sun is out once again, shining bright on the field, finding a gap in the clouds as Oakley comes back to the plate. And runner on first base, we got Sam Wilson taking quite a bit of a lead, too. His pace is up. Pitches in a bunt shown and pulled back, and it's going to be a called ball. In the 7th inning, the game is it's a 4-2 baseball game. Michigan has the lead. However, Ohio State has one runner on, and the second batter is up at the plate. And the lineup pitches in, and it's low. It is a 2-0 count. Not much of a lead taken by Wilson. And this one is fouled off, hit pretty hard. 99-mile-per-hour exit velocity, but it's fouled into the parking lot. And, I'm just getting a message from WCBN alum, Austin Falco. He says, Joe Pace is now officially a reliever. He was a utility guy at the start of his Michigan career, but he discovered that he has a mid-90s fastball and a big curveball. So look at that. Never give up on your dreams to be a pitcher. This next fastball comes in, and it is fouled off, so it's a 2-2 count. Thanks to Falco, I feel like he's like the Michigan baseball historian. He's been following this team much longer than I have. But with that, Pace is coming in and looking to try to get out of this inning without surrendering any runs. He has a little bit of an unconventional windup. He like gets really low to the mound and he throws it. It's not like it's an underhand throw or anything or sidearm. His knees bend pretty low is just an odd thing. And that pitch is a ball, and it is now a full count. As one runner is on with 0 outs. Base runner moves, and this is fouled off. Wilson had a solid jump there, but Oakley had no choice but to foul off that pitch with a full count. And in the 7th inning, Michigan has a 2-run lead, but one swing of the bat right now could tie it up. However, Pace seems like he's been the guy who Bakich could rely on to get a couple easy outs if needed, and that's what he's hoping to do this afternoon. And he's stealing once again. Ball, however, he throws it down. And he'll be safe because it was ball 4. So even though he would have been out, it was a great throw. Because it was ball 4, he got the free advance to second. So a bit unfortunate for Michigan. They did the hard work of picking him off. But now Zach DeZinzo comes to the plate for the Buckeyes. 0 outs, 2 runners on. He got a single in the 5th inning and was stranded on third base. Had a line single right into center field. Pace has has noticeably more velocity than any of the other Michigan pitchers we've seen tonight. His pitches are mid-90s for his fastball. Been up to 95, 96. That was a changeup for ball 1. As Zach DeZinzo is at the plate. .311 batting average this season. Pitches in, and that's low and away. Ball 2, 2-0 count. And the sun keeps playing a game of peeking out, in and out behind the clouds. It's here for 30 seconds, and then it's gone for another minute, and then comes on back. Wonder if shadows will begin playing into one team or the other. The wind is still barking, coming in from left field. Has kept a handful of pitches in the stadium, but not enough to keep Flores' blast inside the ballpark. Here's a windup, and here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1 count. 93-mile-per-hour fastball right there. DeZinzo had no answer to that one. With 0 outs, obviously a triple play would be preferred, but even just a double play or a ground out would be what the Wolverines are looking for. This one is low, and it's a called strike, however. DeZinzo looked a little bit surprised at that one, let me say. But the crowd is still getting pretty loud, even though it's late in this game, and it's a bit late on a Friday afternoon. They are showing their presence. It is much appreciated in this odd season where not a ton of fans could make it in. This one is hit, and it goes lining, and it twists foul down the first base line. I have a feeling the wind might have had something to do with that. It looked like it might land fair, but then it just kept on twisting foul, and it's been a theme all night of balls keep getting pushed towards the first base line, and got pushed a little bit too much. Unfortunately for the Wolverines, that landed foul, so it's going to be 2-2. If that landed fair, if it were like 3 or 4 feet to the right, or excuse me, to the left, just barely hit in bounds, that would have scored at least 1 run. And this one is fouled off once again, and that's deep into the parking lot, not even close. And now the sun is shining bright. Mother Nature could not decide what type of day it's going to be, whether it's cloudy or sunny or both or neither. And it is 6 p.m., so this game has already been going, 6:23. It's been going on for 2.5 hours already, and we're only in the top of the 7th. This one is fouled off once again. over to the Michigan dugout. And DeZinzo's really pulling his weight with the pitch count at least, even if he doesn't end up advancing the runners or getting on base. He has Pace has given up one walk, and that is strike 3 for DeZinzo. We'll get him out of that jam. Took almost 10 pitches, but he finally made it happen. As Cade Kern comes to the plate, he's probably been the best player for the Buckeyes all day. He had a blast off the wall, a double into left field. He also had a fly out into left field and then a single as well. So he is his 1 RBI is in there. In the 5th inning, he got one of those RBIs, blasting off Hajar when he was really being cracked by the Ohio State Buckeyes. Michigan is shifting a tiny bit, not significantly. Swing and a miss, and scrambling is the catcher, Mazer, looking to get to the ball. He almost pushes Kern out of the way to get to it, which is fair enough because a loose ball like that with 2 runners on, you can have a batter's interference that could potentially be called an out under the umpire's digression. Pitch is in. That's going to be a ball, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in this 7th inning, the top of the 7th inning, in this beautiful, beautiful, picturesque Ann Arbor day.
Very slow pace, the way Pace is pitching at. He takes his time between pitches.
Pun intended or pun not intended on that one? Pitches in and it hits the batter. He'll be taking first base to load him up. Did it hit him? He hit the ground as if he got hit, but I guess it may have missed him just barely. But that was a deep inside pitch. So it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. So he won't take first base quite yet. But pitches in. This one is hit over and a pitch to third base, and only time to get 1 out. That was from Sims to Molfetta to get the 6-5 put out to get the lead runner, Wilson. But Oakley's going to advance to second, and then Kern's going to advance on that fielder's choice. So not a fantastic hit for him, but he found its way on the base with 2 outs now, and Pace is just 1 batter away from getting out of this inning and going into the 8th. And we got Connor Pohl is up. He's 0 for 3 today for the Buckeyes. Pitches in, and that is a ball. Believe it was a little bit outside. Pohl, he has had a strikeout in the 2nd, a line out to left in the 4th, and then a ground out to second base in the 5th inning. Now he comes up in the 7th. This one is strung on and sent flying to left field. It bounces, and a runner is rounding third base. He will score as a runner's on the corner right now, and Connor Pohl gets his first hit of the day, and it's an RBI, making this a 4-3 lead, 1-run game.
That's just a great piece of hitting to the right field side. Just waiting on a pitch, just being smart, hitting the opposite field, cutting this lead now 4-3, and we got a ball game, folks.
Exactly, and it's not over yet. There's runners on first and third. Mazur comes out to signal to his defenders about what to do if either the runners steal or who to pick off. That last pitch was 93 miles per hour, had an exit velocity of close to 95. But that was a screaming laser right into right field. This one is hit and it's fouled off. Going to be an 0-1 count with 2 outs as Colton Bauer is up at the plate. He has 2 hits. He has a single in the 4th and a single in the 6th inning. And Michigan is trying to get out of this jam while retaining the lead. 10 hits apiece for either team. However, Michigan is leading by 1 run. Second pitch is in, and it's a ball, 1-1. And Pace is just looking to get out of this as quickly and as safely as possible, whatever it takes. Pace, unlike Proctor, he has not been phased by any of the base runners. Pitches in, and no call. It's going to be a ball. Looked like it just barely missed on the outside. It is now 6:29, so we have been playing for 2.5 hours, and we're still in the top of the 7th inning. This is a long, long baseball game. This pitch is in, and it's a called strike. It's going to be 2-2 with 2 outs in the 7th for Bauer.
Big pitch here.
Absolutely.
Can Michigan come on? They were not unscathed, but still have the lead going into the bottom of the 7th, or will Ohio State get the run they need to tie it?
Exactly. And here's a wind-up from Pace. Throws it in, fouled off to the right side of the field, down the first base line. Just a rocket almost towards the dugout of the Buckeyes. And Bauer is staying alive. Basically, any ball in play will probably score a run. I guess if it's a grounder, they'll just get the force out. But anything that lands to the outfield and will bring in Kern from third. And this is a ball, and on that pitch, Pohl was running, and he advances to second.
That was a weird play. I think he stopped in the middle, and Michigan didn't really notice that he was going to go.
Well, it was 2 strikes, so it's not unsurprising to see the runner on first base running on the pitch pretty much. But he was maybe checking to see if it was a called strike, but it is an odd play. You're absolutely right. Now 3-2. Pitches in, and it's fouled off. Full count. 3-2. Runners on second and third. One thing to note is Oakley's scorer from earlier this inning, it is unearned because he did reach on an error. Funny enough, that error was from the pitcher, but go figure. And this ball was high, and it'll finally, after that odyssey of an at-bat, will give him a free trip to first base. And now bases are loaded as Brent Totis comes to the plate. The catcher, if you're Michigan, this is probably the best guy you want to see come on out. Totis has only a 192 batting average, and that's not a small sample size. He's the starting catcher, so he has 10 hits. That means he has quite a bit of at-bats. Pace looking to get out of this jam. Bases loaded. Pitch 1 is in. Bit high. 1-0. Michigan leads 4-3 in the top of the 7th inning. That last walk loaded the bases with Bauer. Here's the pitch. This is inside, 2-0.
And he has much less command than the other two pitchers we saw in Proctor. And the other two pitchers, he just doesn't have as much command right now. Feels like he's a little wild, and that's kind of costing Michigan right now. He already has 2 walks through this inning.
Yeah, absolutely. And only 1 strikeout. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss. 2-1. Brent Totis, he's 1 for 3. He had a single in the 6th inning. However, in the 4th, he had a double play, and he had a ground out in the 2nd. No need for double play now. Just any single out will do for Michigan. This is put into play, and it reaches into the outfield, a grounder. 1 run comes in. 2 runs come in. And Ohio State takes their first lead of the afternoon. It is 5-4. And Pace is now the pitcher record for Michigan and will be saddled with this loss if they can't come out of it. That grounder was a laser, but it was right down to where the second baseman usually is positioned. However, Bertram was holding on the runner at second and was out of position, and it just kept rolling right into right field. And it allowed 2 runners to come in and score. So now we got Bauer is going to stay at second, and we got Totis is at first. And then Scotty Seymour is at the plate. And I see they're keeping Pace in, but I would imagine they will not have him go another inning after giving up 3 already this inning. It is unfortunate coming into this with a 2-run lead to see 3 runs surrendered this late in the game by a relief pitcher. Probably a relief specialist even. Here comes a pitch. It's a bit of a changeup and a bit outside. 1-0 for the count. And no real leads by Bauer or Totis. Both are, even though they're neither are being held on that much, both staying tight. Foul ball, and it goes deep and deep into the parking lot by Yost. Ricochets off of a car. I hope that's okay. Call up Geico for some insurance on that one. It is 1-1 now is the count for Scotty Seymour. And this pitch is high again. So it is 2-1 with 2 outs. As Ohio State took the lead, and they're looking to extend it even further with a runner on second and a runner on first. Basically, any single to the outfield will likely score a run. This one is hit, and it's a deep fly to center field. Getting under it is Rogers, and he makes a catch. So getting Michigan out of that jam. However, they surrendered 3 runs in that one. 2 runners left on base for the Buckeyes as Ohio State takes a 5-4 lead in the middle of the 7th inning. And it is the 7th inning stretch here. It is a baseball tradition as that's something I've missed about coronavirus is going to a game, just stuff like this. You don't get this at home usually, the 7th inning stretch. Michigan coming up next inning, Christian Molfetta, Griffin Mazur, and Jimmy Obertop. So the 2, 3, 4 hitters, if Michigan wants to retake the lead, this is the part of the lineup that'll be most likely to do it. But it's just such a beautiful day out as well. It's tough to describe over radio, but it's sunny and warm, but not too sunny, and the clouds kind of blocking some of that direct sunlight. And then we have a new pitcher coming in for Ohio State. It is number 38 on the mound, Patrick Murphy out of Canton, Ohio. He's a graduate student and a left-handed pitcher. From Canton, Ohio, I wonder if he's been to the Hall of Fame. It's the one claim to fame I know about Canton.
Yeah, now if you're Michigan, it's a one-run game. You're now losing. It should be, it's going to be so it's going to be 2-3-4. It's going to be Molfetta, Mazur, Oberstdorf. So this is a chance. 3 righties make some noise a bit against the lefty. It's going to be very interesting to see, can they make noise? You got 8 outs as we enter the 7th. You got 9 outs as we enter the 7th. It's been a fun one.
It has been a fun one. It's been a long one, but a fun one. It's already been 2 hours, 40 minutes, and we still have 2.5 innings at least, or at most, I guess, or at least if there's extras. I suppose if Michigan takes the lead, there won't be a bottom of the 9th, but at least 2 innings, possibly extras, and how close this game would be. I don't think anyone in the stadium would be surprised to see this one go into extras. But here comes the very first pitch from Murphy, and that's a called strike. Molfetta at the plate. He's 1 for 3 at a single in the 3rd. Stranded at second, was unable to be brought in. And second pitch now. This one grounded. Diving shortstop is Dinzotto, and it is unable to get to it, and that's a single. Dinzotto just unable to. Great effort. He had a good jump, but it was perfectly hit single. Grounder right between Irwin and Dinzinzo, excuse me. Griffin Mazur now is up with 1 runner on, no outs. Michigan trying to get a rally started and retake this lead. Ohio State with the lead first time of the game after they got that 2-run single in the top of the 7th off of Pace, Joe Pace. Pitches in, and this one's low. Going to be 1-0 count with Molfetta on first base. And now Mazur's really taking his time to step back into the batter's box. Here he goes. Murphy's up. He pitches it. And this one's going to be a called strike, 1-1. Mazur looks like he recognized he probably should have swung at that. That was right down the middle, but he took that pitch. So he won't get that opportunity back. Next pitch is coming up right now. And it's a pickoff attempt. Not even close for Molfetta. He doesn't even have to slide in. He just stays standing. He's only 2 or 3 steps away from the base. And didn't have much of a lead anyway. But this left-handed, the southpaw on the mound, has a direct view of first base for the pickoffs. This pitch comes in, and it's going to be a bit outside and low. 2-1 count. And one thing to start thinking about is the twilight comes on in, whether the shadows might play a role in this game. Pitch in, and it's popped up, hit really high, and it looks like it'll be out of play. Yep, and just barely it lands on the roof of the fan, like the overhang of the stands, the grandstands. And it is now 2-2 count with 0 outs in the bottom of the 7th. With Michigan down 5-4, still anyone's game. It's been back and forth. The game has been tied at several points, Both teams have had a lead so far this game. And another pickoff, and not even close. Mulfetta quickly scampers back to first base. And Mazur at the plate with the 2-2 count. And he's stealing, delayed steal, and he picks him off, no pitch, and he'll be out. That is a gutsy move, and he got caught.
Why are you stealing there?
Yeah.
They're all over him.
I know.
Why would you steal there? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Mulfetta, he was like 2 or 3 steps off from first base, and they picked him off, and he didn't even try and get back to first. He just went to second. Wasn't even that close, and now he's out, and there's no runners and 1 out. So 2-2 and 1 out now with 0 runners on base. And just like that, put into play, grounder to shortstop, thrown over to first base, and barely scooped up by Paul to get the out. It is 2 outs now. And just like that, it went from 0 outs and 1 runner to 2 outs and no runners. Just 1 pitch later. And Obertop is up. He's 0 for 3. He has been quiet tonight, but he is one of Michigan's best offensive players. First pitch comes in and skips into the catcher's mitt, right even before the plate. Obertop, 8 home runs and 19 hits on the season with a .264 batting average, but nothing yet today. Pitches in, and that's another ball. 2-0. And Obertop trying to potentially one swing could tie up this game, but don't know. This one comes in and it's a called strike. 2-1. This season is really interesting for the Wolverines and the entire Big Ten because it goes awfully later than it normally does. Pitches in and a swing and a miss, 2-2 count now. Normally the season ends by late April, early May, the regular season, excuse me. This year the regular season goes into late May. So WCBN will be covering a lot of those games. We have some broadcasters will stay in Ann Arbor. A few of us are going back home. Pitches in, and it's a grounder right to the third baseman. Irwin throws it to Paul and completes it in time to get the third out of the inning for Obertop. Is retired. And with that, we have 1 hit, 0 runs, and no runners left on base as Michigan is unable to get anything in the bottom of that 7th inning and now continues to trail 5-4. I'm curious who they bring to the mound. I doubt it will be Pace again, and it won't be. They're pulling someone out of the pen. Let's see who it is. It is number 30 on the team. That is Jack White, the pitcher from Athens, Georgia. No, not the musician, but he comes to the mound. He's gotten a bit of relief work this season. It's funny that his walk-up song is the White Stripes, though. He has a good sense of humor about it. He's playing Seven Nation Army over the speaker system in Ray Fisher Stadium.
Should be an interesting 8th. Can Michigan limit the damage of Ohio State? That's one thing. The second thing will be if they can score. And it's been an uphill battle all day long, and Ohio State is one of the best pitching staffs. It's been a long one. It's hot. It's Friday. Let's see if the Wolverines can come back and really get back into this game down 1 run. First, however, they need to hold off this Ohio State lineup, and it's going to be 9-1-2. Irwin, Wilson, Oakley. Irwin is 0 for 2 on the day, and he is hitting .217, so a good matchup to start for Jack Wright. He has 6.1 innings pitched on the year, 6 hits, 6 walks, with a 2.84 ERA.
And his most recent outing was against Maryland. He gave up 2 runs, only ended up pitching 2/3 of an inning. That really tanked his ERA, but prior to that, he was quite stellar. He pitched 2 innings, no runs against Iowa, 2 innings, no runs against Purdue, then an inning and 2/3 against Michigan State with 1 earned run. So prior to last weekend's game against Maryland, he has been quite strong this season. Let's see if he could rebound from that this afternoon as he comes in the top of the 8th against Nick Irwin.
Here's the pitch, and it is in for a ball. A little high. Nick Irwin, he's got 1 RBI on the day, hitting .217, 0 home runs, 4 RBIs on the season. Here's the 1-0. That ball is fouled off to the netting right above the Ohio State bullpen. Michigan fans waiting eagerly for Michigan to have the chance to hit first. They need to stop this Buckeye offense, which has come alive here in the later innings. And that one is high and inside, so now 2-1.
Jack White trying to find some control early in his outing tonight.
Here's the 2-1. High, away, 3-1. And the walks for these Michigan pitchers have added up, and they got to teach them more control.
And a win today would be big for either team.
That one is a strike, so it brings it full. Here in the top of the 8th inning, Michigan trying to get back as they trail by 1, 5-4.
Yeah, a win for Ohio State would be huge. It would put them at 13-7 this season.
And that is a big strikeout. Jack White working back from a 3-1 count, getting the K looking, so a backwards K to get 1 out as the top of the order comes to the plate. Here is Wilson.
That was a crucial out for Jack White. He battled back from the 3 balls and ended up getting the strikeout.
Here's White. Inside, strike 1. Perfect pitch, a little breaking ball. 74 miles per hour. Trying to get into a groove. The 0-1 inside for a ball.
And they're saying Wilson is trying to make a case that it grazed him. Umpire was not buying that. He's like, get back into that batter's box. That definitely did it.
He did not flinch at all. He's just like 1-1.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-1. That ball is popped up. Trying to get there in no man's land. It goes out of play towards the Ohio State bullpen. So now a 1-2 count.
Once again, it's the wind. If it weren't for the wind, that likely would have stayed maybe not in fair territory, but at least in the field of play. And it possibly could have been a foul out, a pop fly in foul territory. And 1 out in the top of the 8th. Michigan looking to...
Here is the pitch. It is high. So now a 2-2.
Michigan looking to stop any keep the lead. Had only 1 run this inning. So Ohio State's looking to extend it.
Here's the 2-2. And that one's fouled back. Ohio State batters, they love to work these pitchers. They do a very good job of it. They've gotten pretty much full counts every at-bat.
Absolutely. Pretty high pitch counts all afternoon.
Here's the 2-2. Fouled back. It has been a long one. We are approaching the 3-hour mark here in the 8th inning. A lot of foul balls, a lot of balls.
Yeah. The pitch counts 91 pitches for Hajar. Proctor had
There is a swing and a
13.
miss and an easy throw over to first. So Michigan 1 out away from getting a chance to cut into the lead and possibly gain the lead in the 8th. Coming up to the plate is now Oakley. Oakley is 0 for 2 on the day with a .239 batting average. The sophomore. Can Jack White continue his stellar pitching performance through 2 hitters? One is high. Check the swing. Nope, he did not. The third base umpire.
It's going to be 1-0 now. Oakley has yet to have her hit, but he's had 2 walks, including a walk that would eventually score a run in the 7th inning.
Looking to bunt, and that one is just inside. And now it is up to 2 up.
Odd decision to bunt if he would have committed to it. No runners on base, 2 outs in the bottom of the or top of the 8th. Not exactly screaming traditional bunt situation.
He doesn't bunt this time, and a big swing. And that will be a swing and a miss. So now the 2-1.
And looks like Jack White is doing what's needed to potentially get out of this inning. He's only a couple of pitches away, potentially, from doing that.
That one is driven deep to left, coming in, and that is going to be out of play.
And it's caught in the bullpen by a Michigan pitcher, but unfortunately that won't count as an out.
Could not see that from my angle. Only Adam can see that.
Yeah. Still a very funny moment, though.
Sun's right in our faces.
That was right-handed pitcher Willie Weiss who caught it. He made a celebration, mini celebration after doing so.
Here's the pitch and just a little low. So once again, why not? We are full.
It's going to be 3-2-2 for Oakley. He is really racking up the walks. He has 2 already this afternoon.
That one is lined to first, and an easy play for the Wolverines. A little 1-2-3 innings, something we haven't said in a long time here in this game as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Michigan trying to come back down 5-4.
That was a fantastic outing from Michigan's pitcher right there, Jack White. I'm curious whether they keep him in for the 9th. Usually, I would imagine a lot would depend on what Michigan does here. If they retake the lead, they might put in a save, closer looking for the save. If they are unable to take the lead, or if it's still a tie, I'd imagine they might keep White in, but I am not the one making that decision. It's Coach Eric Bakic. And Patrick Murphy is staying on the mound for the Buckeyes. He had 1 inning pitched, 1 hit given up, and no earned runs. On the season, he has a 3 ERA, 3 flat. But you got a great view. I'm always amazed at the view at Ray Fisher Stadium. You got Yost on one side, then you got Schembechler Hall, and you got the Alumni Field, and Chrysler, and Big House, and then you got the IM building and Ferry Field, just like the center of Michigan athletics. And Ferry Field, its one distinction is the track where Jesse Owens, as a runner for the Ohio State Buckeyes, he set 4 world records in a span of 45 minutes in 1935. So even though It was, as a Buckeye, it's the two teams playing today. It was hosted by Michigan.
And here is the first pitch. Pretty cool fun fact, but that is in there for a strike. You told me that earlier. I did not know that. It's always cool to see the history
Absolutely.
in the University of Michigan. That one is swung and a miss. So now 0-2.
Two
right
quick pitches and two quick strikes. Exactly what Patrick Murphy is looking to get.
And the 0-2. That one is a little outside.
Benjamin Sims, he has a single, and he scored in the second inning, and a single in the sixth, but he did not score. He was stranded on base.
Here's the 1-2. Grounded to the third base side. Easy play, stepping into it, and he got him. So Poole makes the catch. No error there, as Michigan's Sims is retired with one away. Up to the plate is Burton, and he is on the day. He's batting .360, which is great, but he is 2 for 3. He's been terrific with a run as well. That one is swung on and missed for a strike to start off the at-bat. The pace of Murphy much faster than other pitchers we have watched today.
Absolutely. He's a catch and fire type of guy.
I tend to like those pitchers better. It makes the game flow just a bit better.
Yeah, you see in the majors, it's 7 p.m. now, so we just inch past the 3-hour mark. But in the majors, they're trying all these new additions to speed up the game, and nothing's working at all, it seems like.
Here's the 0-2. Low.
Yeah, it's only the 8th inning, and this game has already been 3 hours. Be surprised if it finishes before 3.5. Potentially could go over 4 if it goes into extras.
As that one is outside, if they were to go in extras, Ted Burton and the Wolverines have got to get their offense rolling. They've been quiet since the 6th.
And it's mainly been because of Flores.
That one is swung on and missed. Strike 3 called, and Patrick Murphy is 1 out away from getting to the 9th. He's been terrific. 2 batters, 2 outs. And now Clark Elliott up to bat. He's 1 for 3 with a run scored as well, the lefty. So it'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. Should favor Murphy.
Absolutely. And Clark Elliott, he had a single in the 6th, and he was eventually scored on the home run.
Pitch is called for a strike to Elliott. Hitting .293 on the year, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. Here's the 0-1, just outside. Count is even at 1.
Murphy's a really efficient pitcher. He has a 1.4 whip. He gets in there and he throws strikes, doesn't give up much walks.
That one is hit in the center. An easy play for Kern to end the inning as we head to the 9th. Michigan down a point, 5-4.
And it's the final inning as Michigan is looking to, first of all, Michigan would need to stop Ohio State from scoring anymore. And then they would need to get a run of their own. It's in entirely their own court, however. As coming up to pitch again, it's once again number 30, Jack White. We mentioned he had a great 1-2-3 inning last inning, and he's looking to match that again. I would have imagined if Michigan took the lead in the bottom of the 8th, he wouldn't be pitching tonight, or this inning. He wouldn't be pitching this inning. They would have put in a save, a closer or someone. But He's looking to add on to his stellar performance already tonight, including 1 inning pitch, no hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts, bringing down his earned run average a little bit, recovering after last week against Maryland. And coming up to plate, Zach DeZenzo. This is his 5th at-bat of the evening. He only has 1 hit, and that came in the 5th. And that 5th inning was when Hadger was kind of getting rocked a little bit by the Buckeyes team. And wind up in the pitch. It's going to be low and inside, 1-0 for Zach DeZenzo. He has a 307 batting average this season. Second pitch is in, and that's high and outside. So first one was low and inside. Second was high and outside. Unable to find the zone in either instance. 2-0 count. And that one is way high over the catcher. Just goes sailing right into the backstop. No runners on base, but it looks like Jack White might be a little bit rocked here. And DeZenzo has a 3-0 count. Pitches in. That was high. And DeZenzo takes first base on 4 straight pitches. Not the way Jack White wanted to start off that
No,
inning.
he did not. That was not good, to say the least. You put an easy runner on base, and now you got to face their best hitter in Cade Kern.
Exactly. Kern has been a powerhouse hitter, especially he seems to pull it quite a bit to right field. However, he hit it opposite field in the 5th. That ended up scoring a run. A grounder opposite field. You see the shift that Michigan has. First pitch is in for a strike. Second baseman Bertram, he's almost at second, while shortstop is about halfway between second and third. First baseman Obertop is holding on to Zinzo pretty tight. Second pitch, it's swung on, and it's a strike and missed. So 0-2. In the top of the 9th with 0 outs, 1 runner on. Michigan needs to get out of this inning and then get at least 1 run of their own to stay alive, if not 2 to finish the job. Luckily, they got Tito Flores coming up. Line drive to center field, and it skips into out center fielder Rogers. He can't make the catch on the air. So Cade Kern gets his 3rd hit of the day, and it's now 2 runners on with 0 outs. I'm curious if they make a pitching change, how much of a leash Jack White has, even though the team's down by 1. So it's not like he's trying to protect a lead, but also you don't want to get it too far out of the way because it basically prevents any chance at a comeback. And just as I say that, none other than Eric Bakic comes on out, likely with a call to the bullpen in mind. He's going to have, assuming Jack White is taken out, he will have be responsible for 2 runs. He'll be responsible for DeZenzo and Kern on first and second, respectively. And, here comes a pitcher out of the bullpen. Let's see who it is. And with that 1 inning pitched, no runs giving up as of yet. 2 hits given up. And this is Isaiah Page coming in, the redshirt junior from Diamond Bar, California. He's only pitched a handful of games this season. Pitched against Iowa at the beginning, Purdue as well. He has only given up 2 earned runs. two of which came last weekend against Maryland. Michigan really got rocked in that one, able to do anything. But besides that Maryland game, he has yet to give up a earned run. And assuming Ohio State could hang on to the lead, this win would be huge for them. It would be their 5th win in a row and would leapfrog them over Michigan in the Big Ten standings. If Michigan is able to pull out a win from this, they will, depending on what happens to Nebraska's game this weekend, Michigan could take the lead in the Big Ten. So both teams have a lot of implications. Isaiah Page has an 0-1 win-loss record, 4.15 ERA this season, and 4.1 innings pitched, which had 5 strikeouts. Interestingly, 2 hit by pitches. You usually don't see that many with only 4.1 innings pitched. Isaiah Page is trying to stop the bleeding. He comes on with 2 runners on base and 0 outs. And both of those runners are, Jack White is responsible for both of those runners. And Connor Pohl is up. He's 1 for 4 today. He's has a 200 batting average on the season, so not the strongest hitter, just barely over the 100 mark right there. As Page winds up for his very first pitch of the evening, and just before he does, he steps off the rubber to check back to Zinzo at second base. Now he's looking for pitch at the windup, and here's a pitch, and this one's low. Sends Mazur flying to dive and stop it from getting out of play or from getting behind him, and he does a good job. No runners are able to advance. 1-0 count in the top of the 9th inning. Michigan trails 5-4. But with 0 outs, there's 2 runners on for Ohio State. Here comes the second pitch from Isaiah Page. This one is in and a bit high, so it's going to be 2-0. Both of these teams play tomorrow and Sunday, assuming they happen, weather cooperating. WCBN will be broadcasting both of those games. Tune in to listen to it. Over YouTube. Here comes the pitch, and this one is slapped into right field, hits the ground, rounding third is Zinzo, and he'll make it, and come into third is Kern, so RBI single for Connor Pohl. He had an RBI single in the 7th inning, and he has an RBI single in the 9th. So it's now a 2-run lead, and that'll hurt Jack White's ERA.
It will indeed, and unfortunate to see this Michigan team. They played very hard, and here in the 9th, they're kind of unraveling in terms of pitching. I don't know who else you turn to at this point because each pitcher right now does not look in command at all.
And you don't want to burn through too many relief guys because then you potentially put the rest of the games this weekend in jeopardy. And when this game, you're already down by 2 and a runner on third and first, and it's a potential to be even bigger loss headed into the bottom of the 9th. Pitch is in, and that's a called strike for Colton Bauer. But with the potential to be going into the bottom of the 9th, down 2, potentially more, you don't want to waste that many pitchers on this game when it might not even be winnable in the first place, I suppose. Second pitch is in. This one's grounded up the middle. Throws to second for the force out, and that's the only one they'll get. He kind of checked down the third base runner, but that may have cost them a second out. But it did its job. Kern stayed at third. So Bauer, I believe that will be scored a fielder's choice as as Isaiah Page, he got the grounder and threw it right to second base for the force out. So it's 1 out as Totis is up. He's 2 for 4, both singles. The 7th inning, he got 2 RBIs. So quite big single for him. Really cracked open the game for the Buckeyes. Gave them their first lead of the afternoon. Comes a pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. And it looks like Isaiah Page is finally finding some command. And 13 hits for the Buckeyes, 11 for Michigan. As the Buckeyes lead 6-4, Michigan would need quite a comeback. Bunt is laid down, and no one's covering home, so he just flips it to first, but the runner scores. The catcher scooped up the ball, leaving home place vacant, as that gives Kern the opportunity to score on that suicide squeeze.
As I said earlier, that's the little squeeze play, first and third, and it worked out, and that's a very good call by the Buckeyes. You ensure another one. Now you're up 3, and the game has even gotten more farther out of reach. 1 out left here in this 9th. Can Michigan limit the damage, or will Ohio State continue the damage?
Exactly. Good move by Mazur, just throwing to first, at least getting that play. Not trying to be a hero and get the guy at home. But it is unfortunate to be down 3. First pitch is swung on, popped up to left field, and just barely, I believe that went foul. Yes, it did. Only a step or 2 away from Flores. He was just unable to get to it in time. Speaking of Flores, he has all 4 of the RBIs today, including a 2-run home run. And he will be first up in the bottom of the 9th. So he's exactly the type of guy you want to start with for Michigan today. But we'll have to see whether it will be enough. We've seen Michigan come back from more. 3 weekends ago against Michigan State, they came back from a 7-0 deficit to begin the bottom of the 9th inning, and they ended up winning on a walk-off home run from Obertop. Next pitch is in, and it's low, so 1-1. In this game, it's 7:15, so this game has been going on for quite a while now. First pitch was at 4 p.m., as most Michigan baseball games are at 4. Next pitch comes in, and it's a bit outside as well. Second ball, so 2-1 with 2 outs as Marcus Ernst is up. He is pinch hitting. He has a season 167 batting average. Not too many hits, however. This one is hit deep and high into center field. Getting under it is Rogers, and he makes a grab to close out this inning. So scoring 2 runs in the 9th on 2 hits with a runner left on base. Michigan State extends their lead as Ohio State, extends their lead as Michigan looks to potentially get a comeback victory in the bottom of the 9th.
Let's just get 3 guys on base and hit a grand slam, and that's the game. No, kidding. Hopefully they can come back and win. We got, in terms of the order, should be these 3 guys. It should
Flores, Bertram, and Rogers.
So the bottom of the order, and then Rogers at the top. Flores is the stud today, 3 for 3, but he's had runners in scoring position each of his times at bat. He does not this inning. And you have Bertram, who's 0 for 2. He's had 2 walks. Rogers struggling at 0 for 4 in the leadoff spot.
Michigan, all season, they've struggled to find a consistent guy to bat leadoff. It seems like the middle of the lineup is set with Molfetta, Mazur, Obertop, Sims. That seems to be pretty set in stone, but finding that one guy, Coach Bakic has gone between a handful of players. And we got a new pitcher coming out for the Buckeyes, number 17. Number 17, TJ Brock, looking to get a save. So this is probably the closer's favorite situation. Coming into the 9th inning, up 3, so it's still a save scenario. They'll get props for bringing that in, but they get the most amount of a cushion if needed. And Michigan just trying to get 4 runs, or at least 3 to force extras on this beautiful, beautiful Friday afternoon. Left fielder Tito Flores, 3 for 3 today, 264 batting average on the season. But today he has a home run and 4 RBIs. Has been, if he wants to keep his streak of getting at least one. First pitch is high and inside. Just barely ducking out of the way. But if Flores, so far every at bat today, he has gotten at least 1 RBI. No runners on base now, so he will have to get a home run to keep that streak going. Swing and a miss, making it 1-1 for Flores. And once again, this series continues tomorrow beginning at 2 and then Sunday at 4. Next pitch is in and high, 2-1. Definitely, if you're available, tune in to WCBN. We'd love to have you listen in to continued coverage of Michigan-Ohio State rivalry baseball. This next pitch comes in and it's a bit high, and that'll make it 3-1. And Flores has the potential to be a leadoff base runner in this 9th inning in the bottom of the 9th. And this one was inside. He'll take first base. So Flores unable to get an RBI this at bat, but he does get on base. So that is certainly worth something. And now Riley Bertram, he's 0 for 2 today. And the past doesn't matter. It just matters what he's able to do now. With no outs and 1 runner on base, I'm curious to see how aggressive Flores might be on the base path. Pitch is outside. It's a 1-0 count, and it looks like Michigan fans and dugout is getting really excited at the moment as TJ Brock goes and winds up, and that's a loose ball, and it gets behind the catcher, giving Flores a chance to advance to second. And I believe that'll be a wild pitch. Maybe I don't know if it's probably a wild pitch. You never know with how those are scored. But regardless, Michigan now is a runner in scoring position, down 3 with 0 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Moments like this are what baseball games are most excited by. Fans are still getting pretty loud, even though it's only about 100 or so family members in attendance. Such a beautiful stadium here at the Wilpon Athletic Complex. It's a shame outside fans can't come in. The general public can't come in. Just family members of the players. And Brock steps off the mound and looks back towards second, keeping Flores honest. Flores was only 2 steps off second, and no one was even holding him on, but still keeping him honest by holding him on, by stepping off the rubber. Next pitch comes in, and it's a ball. 3-0 count. Riley Bertram is 1 pitch away from taking first base with 0 outs, as the top of the lineup would come up next. 3-0. Let's see if he swings or takes a pitch. This comes in, and a called strike. So he does take that pitch. Now it's 3-1. Don't want to get too cocky at the moment and make it full for Riley Bertram.
Yeah, let's see what pitch he gives here to try to keep him in the count. That's a very good pitch.
And that's a
Painting the outside corner.
95-mile-per-hour fastball. low and away, but just barely covers the plate. And that's a full count for Riley Bertram. He started 3-0 and 2 straight strikes taken. Bat hasn't left his shoulder so far. This one is swung and fouled and hits right into the side of the Yost Hockey Arena. I'm sure those windows are extra reinforced due to the risk of baseballs, but it's now a full count still with a runner on second, no outs, and Michigan down 3 in the bottom of the ninth. Trying to get a rally going or something. Here's a pitch, and it is a single grounder in between short and third, giving Bertram his first hit of the game. And Flores, although he held up a little bit, he eventually advanced to third base. And now runners on the corner, no outs, and the top of the lineup is up. One swing right now could tie this up.
So now with Jordan Rogers is 0 for 4, a strategy just to get a run would be, let's do the squeeze and just force it out. That's an interesting play. If you're 0 for 4, you might think about it. I don't know if they'll do it, but
that's risky because if the bunt isn't perfect, they'll just get the lead runner, and that's all for nothing. You get an out anyway. And then the other situation is, do you even want to be giving up outs? It's still a 3-run game. That's easier said than done to come back from. So if it were a one-run game and you needed that to force extras, that would be one thing. But even if you do that, you still have only 2 outs left to get 2 additional runs. So I'm not sure. It's not up to me, though, so we'll see what happens. And Brock takes some time to recompose himself with 0 outs and runners on the corners. And Michigan's top of the lineup is up with Jordan Rogers at the plate. As TJ Brock looks to try and get out of this inning without blowing the lead potentially. First pitch is in. Chopper to third base. Throws to second. Throws to first. Double play. That is probably, short of a triple play, that is probably the worst thing he could have done right there. You almost prefer him to strike out. And Rogers, he went from 0-4 on the to 0-5 on the day. So now Michigan is down to their very last out, and they lost one of their base runners in the process.
Not good, and that is, as you just said, the worst possible thing that could have happened. And now Michigan's down on their final out with a guy on third, so you need another base runner to have a chance of tying it up on one swing of the bat.
Here's the pitch, and that is a ball and outside. 2 outs. Flores remains on third. But Michigan down by 3, and that most recent double play seemed to really sour any chances of a comeback that might have been brewing. But it's not over till it's over. Next pitch is up. This one is a strike. Just grazing the top of the batter's box. Molfetta's up. He's 2 for 4 today with 2 singles. Comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2. 1 strike away from the end of this game. TJ Brock was in a bit of a pickle, but he's now fully in command now. If he gets this out, he will get a save today. And I'm unsure who the win would go to on Ohio State. I'll have to look at who pitched which innings. And this one is hit to third base, and he guns it over and gets the final out. Irwin to Poole. 5-3 put out, and that finishes the game for the Buckeyes. They win 7-4, and with that, they take the second spot in the Big Ten standings. Michigan falls in their second straight game, and they're certainly mellowing out from the hot start of the season that they had. But Michigan will play against this team twice more this weekend, assuming the weather cooperates. As we mentioned, tomorrow's game is at 2, and then Sunday's game is at 4. However, checking my weather app, it's supposed to rain all day Sunday and all afternoon Saturday, so we will keep you updated. The win goes to Game for the Buckeyes. The loss goes to Joe Pace. And TJ Brock will get the save. And with that, game was 3 hours and 25 minutes long. It was a beautiful one here from Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor. Thank you for tuning in to WCBN FM Ann Arbor on YouTube or on BTN Plus. But have a good evening and go blue.